Right, everyone, we are live for the 2023 Dutch Grand Prix from Zandvoort. Very exciting. We've got the weather radar here. Martin saying windy clouds but still dry. That is not what our weather radar is saying. That's my evil twin. That was good to confirm that the sound is working though. I do enjoy that. Right, we should be all good to go. Should be all good to go. You can see, I promised you I was going to bring a Formula 1 style wheel. And I've done it. Here you go. You can see yourself. That's what I see. Can you see? So we can talk about this. I also was very lucky when I went to Formula E in Berlin, maybe, or Rome, I can't remember. I got to get really hands-on with the Formula E steering wheel and speak with the head of Nissan Performance over there. And some very interesting things about Formula-style steering wheels. Kirith Community Support in the stream. Hello, F1 fans. How are you today? How are the F1 fans in the chat? Welcome, Kate, Vlatka, Funky, Home GP for Funky and Martin, which is awesome. We should be good, by the way. We should be good. Spare batteries charging in case I need to make a pit stop. But hopefully the sound is all working. And we've got the F1 manager. We've got the countdown going to the GP. As soon as I get some live shots, I will let you know. We have the standings there. So there was no penalty for Carlos Sainz, but there was a post-race penalty for Yuki Tsunoda. So Yuki Tsunoda did get a post-race penalty for impeding Lewis Hamilton. Welcome back, Sheikh Mansour Sheikh Mohammed. Anki says, did the race already start? Yes, it's already started. No, it hasn't. Don't worry. There is a countdown on the screen that will let you know when the race is going to start. And this, by the way, is the best place to watch the race. Don't have to deal with any adverts, any nonsense. We're just going to follow it here. And in fact, this is risky, but I just want to try. This is misaligned. Oh, this is so risky. Yeah, there we go. Got it. It was risky, but it's worth it. We can actually fine-tune it. Look at that. Now we're talking. Perfection there. And yeah, we've got a live weather radar, which is awesome. Over Zandvoort, you can see the circuit on the west coast of the Netherlands. That's Nankisu says, for F1 fans are great. How are you? How are the F1 fans? Let us know. Let us know who you will be supporting today. Let me just give you the lowdown of where we are. Any sort of news that's coming in. Let me make sure that you are all up to date. By the way, we've got some new emojis in the chat. So if you are a Max Verstappen fan, I got you some special Max Verstappen emojis. And if you're a Lewis Hamilton fan, I got you some Lewis Hamilton emojis. And if you spot a crash, we've got a crashed emoji as well. So we are absolutely sorted on the emoji front, I believe. Welcome, Jansu. Any other interesting news? Rainbow over Zandvoort. Not that interesting. BBC weather forecast has Zandvoort 59% chance of rain at 2 p.m, which is basically now, 2 p.m. local time. 70% for Grand Prix start at 3 p.m. and 51% at 4 p.m. So we will see. I mean, this could be a very wet weather affected race. Excuse me, where is Perez? Perez is in P7. You can see Perez P7. There we go. Now we've got Tsunoda down to P17 after that 5-place penalty, I think it would have been. And Sergio Perez is up. Oh, you mean in the emojis? We need to, if you guys and girls want Perez emojis, you need to let me know. Otherwise, I won't know how, which ones to add, I should say. But great to see everyone back. We've got the timer, the countdown, back for another race. We couldn't make Spa, unfortunately, but the one we had before that, Hungary was good, Silverstone was good. What else did we do? Spain was good, Monaco was obviously very dramatic. No Lando. That's true, there is no Lando. But Lando you can do, this is like orange. So you got a papaya one for orange. Does that work? Can we deal with that? There's an advert for F1 Manager. I have to tell you, so few people are playing F1 Manager this year. It's embarrassing. The game is just fallen off a cliff. I mean, they're going to be losing so much money on that product. But anyway, not particularly my problem. And there's adverts for betting. Hard to watch sports these days without being bombarded with betting advertisements. How does Lewis Hamilton do his start? He does a start like this on the clutch pedal. They give some reason for that I don't think is completely accurate. I think it's just a bit of superstition that that's how he likes to do it. This is definitely a sim racing Formula steering wheel, you can see, because there's too many buttons. Every real world steering wheel I've seen has very, very, very easy to reach buttons, like super easy. Because you don't have time to be fiddling around. Nicholas says, nice to see your steward jig. That could be Lando as well, maybe. What do we think about that cat one for Lando? Or maybe Lando just can be a land emoji. A land emoji followed by... Oh, nice to see you streaming again, yes. We were streaming again yesterday, Nicholas. Did you not see us yesterday? Did you not catch us yesterday? Yeah, broken... Is there a broken trophy? Or maybe like a trophy within a broken icon or something? These shifters are so loud, look. Oh, those ones. Actually louder than me. Interestingly, I've only just realised, even though I reviewed this wheel, that it has a port at the bottom. And did you know the Formula E cars have a USB port? Very unusual. You ever tried to pretend that you're driving the car? Like, I'm driving the car and you see in the picture now. Rate my driving, everyone. What do we think? Well, there was an F1 video released this morning, so you can actually see my F1 driving in that. Welcome, Carl. Good to see you. Suit him up. Suit who up? Who are we suiting up? And in what suit? When is the race starting? Well, Shake, there is a big clue over the map. There is a big old clue over that map there. We need an emoji for has the race started. But running through, the big story yesterday was Verstappen on pole by such a significant margin. And yes, Norris, Russell, Albon behind. But I mean, this could be a statement race from Max Verstappen. It really, really could. At his home Grand Prix, I think we could be about to witness something special here from Max Verstappen. Alex Albon as well. Be interested to see where Albon can finish. And if the Williams mechanics have managed to fix Logan Sargent's car. Darry hopes Lando wins. Let us know in the chat who you're hoping for the win today. I mean, that would be a big shock if Lando could win, but stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. Is Lando underrated? Lando's been in Formula 1 for how many seasons now? 4 seasons? It is grid procedure time. I think that's Max Verstappen leaving the pit lane, by the way, to go around and enter his grid slot. He has got the potential, though, indeed. We saw he was pushing it yesterday. You know, went off in FP3, went off in qualifying. So tricky times for Max. But also set an absolutely dominating lap time. Okay, he's got the Lewis Hamilton emojis out. See, I don't have enough space for all of them. We need to prioritize. You can see what we've got in the shelf there, so we can always swap them around. Liam Lawson down in 19th. Darius heard rumours of him maybe joining Red Bull in like 2 years. Wow. Well, I've heard those rumours as well. I mean, who is it? Helmut Marko has spoken about it. Some would say it would be a good fit. They're both people who like their sim racing. Lando, though, is signed up with McLaren. We will see. What about Lando to Ferrari? And actually, I think that's Verstappen dives back into the pit lane. So he's not going to go onto his grid slot. He wants to do another sort of reconnaissance lap, I believe. 47 minutes to go. Is he going to go around straight again, or is he going to go back into his pit box? Let's have a look. Does he go into the pit box? Nope, just goes straight around again at the end of the pit lane. So just doing some running on the track, but avoiding the grid. It's quite a weird thing, actually, because the grid is so populated, and at the last minute they all swing into the pits. Dario, I hope strategists of Ferrari don't mess up, man. I mean, that is a dangerous, honestly. If you're going to put your faith in a strategy team, I wouldn't put your faith in Ferrari. That's my opinion. And Charles Leclerc he did not look comfortable here yesterday. By the way, the weather at the moment, even though that radar is showing rain, the weather at the moment is not raining on the track. So it is not actually raining right now on the track. Just to be super clear about that. Charles Leclerc also goes around. Charles Leclerc also goes around. That's interesting. Hang on a second. Hang on, chat. Someone's using our picture on another stream. What's this about? I've just been informed. I've just been informed. There's a bit of live drama here, chat. Am I that bothered about it though?
Okay.
Are we that bothered about it? What should I do? I mean, they're all very generic photos anyway. Davina Janes, welcome to Legend. Thank you so much, Davina Janes. Know you've been in. Oh, there we go. Welcome to membership. Know you've been in quite a few of these streams before. So thank you so much for becoming a member. Let's get some claps out there for Davina James, please, for joining the membership tier. I suspect some emojis are going to be spammed in the race. Welcome to Davina. Thank you so much, Davina James. Oh, look at that. Carl's got the soapy hands out. Amazing to see. What do I do? What do I do in this situation? Kate says report. Kate says report. Oh man, so much drama. Why is there always so much drama in the world of F1 live streaming? I'm having stuff pointed at me. I'm really not sure I care too much. Darius says rain is going to come. It's rained in my city 100 kilometers away. Well, that's what it's saying on the radar. It's not raining right now on the ground, as the cars are now making their way to the grid. Is that our picture, chat? Chat, can someone check? Is that our... I'd not... I mean, our picture's so generic. I don't even... People are telling me to do something about this, but I'm not sure I care that much. To be honest. They're going to get taken down anyway because they're doing a live stream. Honestly, I don't care. It's not... No offense, but... I don't really care about it. Let's just crack on. Look at Belgium, it's raining there. Yeah, well, I've got the live feed here. It's definitely not raining on the track at the moment. But it is very windy. And you can see the radar map here. It sort of blurs at the edges. We saw this when we were doing it. Was it Monaco, I think? It sort of blurs at the edges. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if there's rain imminently incoming. But we looked at that BBC weather forecast where it was saying 50% chance of rain, going up to 70% chance of rain. 70%. When people copy you, it's a form of flattery. It shows that you're doing something right. And our pictures for this stream aren't particularly original. It's something that I've thought about. I think we should actually make them a bit more original. So, people copy you normally is a sign that you're really doing something right. Okay? Obviously, need to protect yourself as well. Protect yourselves at all times. I'm trying to think about how strategy is going to be here. If the race starts dry, but the rain is going to come in at some point early on in the race, then that might affect your tyre choice, and you might decide to really go as long as possible, so you don't end up making a pit stop. Because in dry weather time. So in a dry weather race, you have to use both the two compounds of tyres, two different compounds. Can be softs and mediums, can be mediums and hards, can be hards and softs, whatever. But if it rains, your second compound of tyre is going to be that intermediate tyre. That's going to be interesting. Welcome, Ivan. Good to see you, and George Rogers as well in the house. Hope you were doing well. Ivan says Zandvoort reminds me of Tsukuba in GT. It's like a long Tsukuba, isn't it? It's a very, very, very twisty circuit. I've just got the hang of it in F1. And it kind of makes sense. But when I was doing it in iRacing, well, you see in the F1 Manager, it looks very sort of like bland. But in the F1 game, it's sort of a bit more recognisable. But especially in iRacing, it's a really depressing circuit, in my opinion.
Pit lane. Okay, understood. Remember the pit lane speed limiter.
Bear with me a second. Funky saying short, heavy bursts in the race. We will see. Welcome, Andrew Parr, by the way. Good to see you. Good to have on board. Yeah, I mean, if we see what the sort of rain we saw yesterday, that will be very tricky to deal with. Very tricky to deal with because it was... Yeah, these bursts of rain. And we saw that the F2 race got we saw that the F2 race actually got red flagged. Davina says, fingers crossed the Albon get a load of points. Well, we will see. I mean, he is in the zone. He looks confident, and he looks like he's on there, sort of on merit. So it'll be good to see. Let me just send out another car here. But you know, he's qualified up there before, so didn't he do pretty well at Monaco, or was it Barcelona maybe, where also Logan Sargent crashed out? So we'll see. I mean, does anyone think Alex Albon can actually finish this race in the top 10? Carl will create a leveler for everyone. Yeah, I mean, it could be a lot of swapping and changing and just really exhausting for the strategist to constantly have to go from inters to dry tyres. And you might see this situation where the best tyre to be on is actually a scrub set of intermediates because the softs will be too slick and a brand new set of intermediates will be too grooved. So you want to be on a scrubbed set that's got a very sort of narrow groove on it to clear the water. Yeah, George, people said that there was actually an internet issue in that race and I wasn't chasing real people. Derek says, who do I think will win? Well, I'm supporting Max Verstappen today. I'm going to be supporting the underdog in this one. So I'm going to see if Max Verstappen is going to win. Ab says hard to overtake here. DRS assisted though and everything, you know. It's true. It is true. But yeah, Max Verstappen in P1, I think that just helps Max Verstappen. It's not going to be a run down like we saw in Catalonia where Carlos Sainz was able to get ahead on the run down into turn 1. I don't think that's going to happen at all. Unless Verstappen the only way I think Verstappen gets in some sort of difficulty at the beginning, if he has a terrible start, someone gets around the outside of him, presumably Norris, or maybe Russell goes up the inside, I don't know. See that at Spa sometimes. And then he gets absolutely swallowed in the next few corners where it gets really congested and into the banking. That could be, you know, a bad situation for Max Verstappen, but I think it's unlikely. Yeah, it's a very tight and twisty track. You can see it there in both screens. But I think it's really difficult to see a scenario where Max Verstappen ends up in difficulty at the start here. But it could happen. You never know. It could happen. It's possible. Who deserves 21 drives like Max or Hamilton? That is a very controversial question, my friend. Very controversial question. So what's happened? I'll tell you what's happened. There's another channel which has used the picture that I generated for this stream, which is a very, like, it's not a very exciting picture, but I did generate it and do the text and everything. It's not particularly original. It's in the style that, you know, Red Bull and everything. Someone's used that for their stream, and there's 1,600 people watching their stream. But I mean, that's just kind of YouTube, isn't it? That's kind of how the laws of YouTube. Let me know. Let me know as well who you think deserves a 2021 Drivers' Championship. I presume you mean Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen, unless you think anyone else is in there. Maybe Felipe Massa's got a claim to that one as well. Max Verstappen's car is now on the front of the grid. Lewis Hamilton is not at the front. He's down in 13th, but he's also on the grid. Fernando Alonso, by the way, just not a great Friday and Saturday, I think. He snuck up into P5, so really good for Fernando. Definitely not raining on the grid right now. Looks kind of sunny weather. "36 minutes to go as well till the start, so it's a grid walk time. See who is going to be here on the grid. I heard Steve Carell is on the grid today. Barry says Hamilton. Chat, I'm not worried about it because I don't think what they're doing is they're basically like trying to farm subscribers because that stream will get taken down. But they just want to, like, farm stuff to the channel. Mr. Amazing Gary says both deserve it. Yeah, maybe they should split it. Maybe, wouldn't that be an outcome if they're like, okay, well, could that have been a possible outcome where they split it? Some big discrepancies here between teams. You got Norris and Piastri, Russell and Hamilton, Albon and Sargent, Alonso and Stroll, Verstappen and Perez. Some big discrepancies there, aren't there? And the same, you know, ostensibly the same machinery. Yeah, Hamilton, I think, he's jumped out of the car. He's cooling down. Adrian Newey's on the grid. What's he looking at? He's looking at the back of the Williams. Wow, do you remember where everyone memed the Williams at Monaco when the floor was lifted and there was no floor? There was no detail. It was just like a blank piece of plastic. Well, now Adrian Newey is actually looking at the Williams thinking, hang on a second, how is that car so much faster than Sergio Perez? How the tables have turned there. Ferrari's, correct, Gary. Ferrari the closest drivers on the grid. Which is Oh, ironic or something? Abby saying, Darry, he's so dreamy. Is that Lewis Hamilton? Someone's watching from the dunes. Imagine it's a big, big crowd at Zandvoort today. Massive crowd at Zandvoort. We'll have to see what the weather's doing. You can see that satellite. It won't be accurate down to what we're seeing here. That's just a sort of blurring. But the rain is very, very close. If you see the rain sort of start to move eastwards, as I think we saw at Montreal, then you know that's the direction of the radar. But we are expecting, on the odds, we are expecting rain today. We are expecting rain. Adrian, always a fan of simplistic designs. Yeah, I mean, what he's cooked up in that Red Bull, though, the thing is they have to often change the regulations just to sort of curb Adrian Newey. Because the amount of championship that man has won is crazy. Abu Bulls in the Netherlands right now, in the middle of a thunderstorm. Let us know roughly where you are in the Netherlands, so we can sort of try and track that weather, as it were. Do let us know. N-shade. Where is N-shade? We're talking east, talking north, talking south? Let us know. We'll try and get a track on that weather situation. Davina saying Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, Alonso, Albon. These are the only drivers who seem to be in harmony with their car at the moment. Everyone else seems to be working through gremlins. I agree, especially the Ferrari drivers just do not look comfortable in that car. Albon looks in perfect harmony with the car. Verstappen does. Norris looks good. Piastri looks good. So I agree with you there. I see Alonso's a bit of give and take. Sometimes Alonso looks hot, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes the Alpines look hot, sometimes they really don't. Darry said it's just rained in Turnhout too. It's dry in Amsterdam. Keepers located. It's dry in the centre of the Netherlands. Okay, so we think this weather is coming in off the coast. That's what we're thinking. Things you need to know is seeing a McLaren podium. Thoughts? Are you foreshadowing a McLaren podium? I would say McLaren are odds on to get onto the podium. It's a shame that Piastri just, for whatever reason, could not hook up that last qualifying lap. Not sure why that was the case, but that's what happened. Albon and Norris and the Red Bull. What if Verstappen just sensationally decides to hang up his boots and he's like, actually, you know, I've achieved all there is to achieve in Formula 1. And frankly, for the good of the sport, I'm actually just going to step back. Wouldn't that be a sensational thing to do? Has there anyone got a possibility chart on that? Abubul saying wind tends to come from the western Holland, especially from the coast. Okay, so we'll see if we're exporting any weather from the UK over to the Netherlands. Zokler says Enschede is the eastern Midland Netherlands, so close to Germany. Then the bad weather might be coming out the east. Hang on, we might be attacked from both the east and the west here with the bad weather. Might be causing a perfect storm. Less than half an hour to go, by the way, till race start. And we think it is dry on the ground at the moment. We think at the moment it is dry on the ground, but that can change very quickly. Exceedingly quickly it can change, I would say. Darius Singh is coming from the south. Hang on, is all the weather converging on Zandvoort? Like it's some sort of magnet for wet, stormy weather. By the way, that other stream, I've just been informed, has been taken down. So it was a cynical ploy to use my artistic vision to pretend they were a higher quality operation than they were. But if you look at what I have here on the screen, I mean, this is top quality enterprise grade layout, and look, I mean, look at the font I've used at the top there. I mean, that is top quality stuff. So we think there's lots of weather coming in. Here is Steve Carell on the grid. Not someone that I've met in real life. Looks like there's some excellent banter happening. Fortunately, I don't know what the banter is. Probably asked, are you a big F1 fan? By the way, hang on, chat. Has everyone seen my interview with, what's his name? Who did I interview on the grid? Hang on. Chat, I interviewed someone on the grid. Who did I interview on the grid? Who did I interview on the grid? Yes, Jaden Smith. Chat, have you all seen my grid walk interview with Jaden Smith? Chat, check this out and come back. Look at this. That's me interviewing world famous person Jaden Smith. Check out my grid walk interview style, and then let me know in the chat how you'd rank my grid walk style out of 10. I want to know. I tend not to touch the people I'm interviewing. That's just my style. Maybe I need to do it. Maybe I need to revisit that style. Maybe I'm too respectful. But yeah, let me know what you think about my interview technique there. Interviewing Jaden Smith on the grid in London. Maybe in the future we'll do an F1 grid walk and cause similar amounts of carnage. It's very, very blustery on the grid. It's sort of the light is sort of shining. Light being the sun. But there's lots of clouds in the vicinity. And I wander in the back there, again in the sort of southwesterly direction. There is another, would you call it a squall of rain coming in? Davina James definitely right about Max. I give him 1-2 more seasons and then he will maybe let a few in the US. Although has Max said he doesn't want to do ovals? Max might have said that he doesn't want to do ovals. Black says we appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you so much, Black. We're just doing our best. That's it. We're just doing our best, having fun. Here's Adrian Newey. Karun wants to have a word with Adrian Newey. I'm sure Adrian would rather be looking at cars. But cool to see Mr. Newey roaming around on the grid. He's all wrapped up in a soft shell. Chat, I got no feedback on my Jaden Smith interview. Come on, guys. I got no feedback on it. What did you think of it? Tell me one good thing and one bad thing about my interview with Jaden Smith. Tell me one good thing and one bad thing about my interview with Jaden Smith. What do you think? He's now inspecting the McLaren. There's a DJ on the front of the grid and some ladies dancing in violins. I don't know what's going on. I'm just having stuff pointed in my face. I don't know why I'm having stuff pointed in my face. What's going on? Bear with me. Sorry. That was a stream that got sent to me. This is the Jaden Smith interview. See, I was asking for feedback on something I didn't even send. I'm really bad at having to do multiple things. I can commentate on F1. I can do, that's easy. I can let you know what's happening. I can describe it. I can tell you when they've got oversteer, understeer, when the tyres are graining, when it's a slow pit stop, fast pit stop, if they're over defending, who's at fault for an instant. All that stuff is super easy, but honestly, pasting a link in chat is beyond my abilities, I have to say. Max wants to do endurance racing. Well, if you look at what he does on iRacing, he does drive in those sort of cars. Would Adrian Newey build a Red Bull hypercar for Max Verstappen to drive in WEC and IMSA? How cool would that be? Could be very, very, very cool indeed. Imagine we hear the Dutch anthem. I don't think they do it twice. I don't think they do it twice. But as for the Dutch anthem now on the grid, I don't know what's that. There's some sort of carnival atmosphere on the grid. Normally they have someone singing the national anthem like I did in the UK, Damien Lewis, but here they've just got a bunch of people with instruments in their hands who are not playing it and they're just sort of dancing around, so maybe that's the vibe. Okay, we're getting some feedback. Patience says, nice sort of 3-second interview, thank you very much. You did 100% of everything right. T says, the best part about that interview is that it's 096 long. Give me some more feedback on my interviewing technique. So when I do another grid walk, you have to, I can incorporate your feedback into my next interview. Let me know. Meanwhile, it's very, very windy out on Zandvoort on the coast. 22 minutes to go, everyone. Only 22 minutes to go. And it's sunny at the moment. So are we going to see rain? And everyone's dancing now on the grid. Everyone's doing some sort of Macarena. And all the marshals are doing something. Maybe it's a warm-up. Tini say oi to get their attention. Darius says maybe ask them more questions. What other questions could I have asked Jaden Smith? Black says, "Oh, sweetie, I wouldn't call an interview last night." So, hang on, wait, there's no minimum length for an interview. An interview is an interview. There's no regulation. It's like, oh, it needs to be 11 seconds to be an interview, as far as I'm aware. Let me know if I'm wrong, though. Okay, is Shakira there and doing a belly dance? Not that I've seen. That would be pretty rogue. I have to say, that would be pretty damn rogue. Liam Lawson's looking a bit more relaxed today. I think yesterday would have been insane pressure for Liam. But he's looking more chilled out. Be very interesting. He said he's starting 20th. But Magnus, I don't know why he'd be starting 20th when Magnussen binned it in Q1, didn't he? Maybe they took apart or something. Darry, could you do the gritty? I can't do the gritty when I'm sitting down, I'm afraid. Doesn't. I could do it, but you wouldn't see it.
Mate.
Let's send out another driver.
Just remind you, use the pit limiter in the pit lane.
Okay, so the feedback I got there was world class. You did 100% of everything right. Nice, solid 3-second interview. So I think we keep that same interview technique for our next grid walk. Maybe we'll go to Vegas and do a grid walk at Vegas. Maybe we'll be speaking with people like Liam Lawson. I need to... What would I say? What would you say? If I was on the grid now, what would you say to Liam Lawson? You could also ignore the famous people and have deep philosophical conversations with their entourage. Do you think people would want to... Do you think people want to hear about that? It's an interesting thought. Interesting strat there. T says, who are you? We'll just go up to the entourage people and say, who are you? Or say, or what, why are you? If you want to get really philosophical, like, why are you you? What makes you you? Thing is, you got to remember, T, that the grid procedure is very, very, very time pressured. Like, very time pressured. So it's maybe not the best space to have deep philosophical conversations. The Williams drivers are looking very chilled out. They were having a chat, just realised they got caught on camera. Looks like they were bantering about something they weren't meant to be bantering about. I'm sure the lip service people will be all over that. Lip sync people. Do you know any nice pizza places near here? Not near Zandvoort. I do know there's a very nice pizza place I go to in Amsterdam, though. Super nice pizza place. Okay, now they've got a violinist. I think he's still vibing. I swear, Dutch people, any Dutch people in chat, you guys and girls are just absolutely insane. I don't know what the air is like in the Netherlands, but laced with something. You can say if you just by saying who, just go up to people and say who. Could do, save time. Welcome, Clat D, good to see you. Welcome along, everyone. Do hit that like button on the way in. Let's see if we can get up to what's our like target for today? 300 likes, possibly. Welcome, Cannon. So we asked, when we asked people what pizza place, what did you have for lunch? What did you have for breakfast? That's actually quite a question that everyone should be able to answer. Either I had this or I didn't. It's no pressure, and it's a little insight. Patiently says, the feeling when you have new sim racing setup coming this week. Let us know what you got. What did you go for? Abobal says, if you do racing content, I would not interview someone like Jaden. He's Hollywood not racing. But he is at the Formula E. So, therefore, by extension, it is about racing, right? By extension, it is about racing. Right, I've been told that I need to report this other stream because otherwise it's going to come back on us. Which I can't do right now. I can't submit a DMCA right now because I'm streaming. This is where we need a team. My goodness, I need a lawyer. But I've been told that we don't want them to be doing something that ends up affecting us, basically. But, again, there's not really anything I can do about it right now, I'm afraid. Also, I think they're just botting something as well, so... Next Level Racing Elite ES1 Race Simulator C. You got Next Level Racing. Very nice. One of the good companies. They're still just vibing, doing their anthem. It's very windy now, and I wonder what would happen if it starts to rain as they're all out there in black tie doing some violining songs and stuff like that. Gone for Club Sport as well. Very nice. I wonder when Fantech are going to make another sort of Club Sport level. Like, above CS... Because wasn't the Club Sport above the CSL Elite? I can't remember. The drivers are vibing along. This is a great vibe today. Oh, there's an explosion. Not a bad explosion. It's an explosion of paint. There's an explosion of paint at the circuit as presumably the anthem finishes, and smoke. There's smoke and paint everywhere. It's just carnage. How long is that anthem? I mean, it's been going for at least 10 minutes, I have to say. The DJ's still there as well. Unbelievable vibe. Yeah, I'm getting stuff just thrown at me, but... Sorry, everyone who's asked me to do stuff. I can't. Just deal with it yourself. Basically, it's going to build the motion platforms. Yeah, I mean, that's what Lando's brother does. Lando's brother builds very nice motion sim racing platforms and sim rigs. You can also go down to the F1 arcade in London if that's possible, and they have a 60,000 Vasaro motion sim rig platform that I've reviewed on the channel. Dari, I see dark clouds behind the violins. Yeah, there's dark clouds everywhere. Karun's walking around with some lady, but Karun's always asking the question. He never lets this lady get a question in. Karun's just absolutely dominating the interviews. Also, these interviews are way longer than 9 seconds. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, I get my interviews done very quickly. Well, welcome back, T. Good to see you, T66, with a 6-month badge. Great to have you back. 15 minutes to go. They're opening one in the US as well. It might be Dallas, I can't remember. But they are opening one in the US. Cannon says that woman playing the cello was stacked. I didn't see it, unfortunately. Clatty's about to go and see Gran Turismo this morning. Make sure you look out for me in the scene. It's not a spoiler, but in the scene where he's doing a GT Academy online race, have a look out for me. The trophy today looks like a very breakable trophy. Patiently, Funky says, patiently, maybe small hands, V25 is not that big. Yeah, the Formula wheels, the difference between a Formula wheel and a GT wheel is the Formula wheels are very, very small. So a GT wheel will be wider than this. You know, I wouldn't... If I was doing a 24-hour race and I was doing 3-hour stints, I would probably use my GT wheel rather than this Formula wheel. If I was doing anything up to a 2-hour race, I would use the Formula wheel. But the GT wheels are more comfortable. Race has not started yet. No, race has not started. There's a countdown there. 13 minutes to go. They're still doing the national anthem. My word. Dutch people, can you confirm how long is your national anthem and why is it like 25 minutes long? Yeah, this is small. It might look big because of the lens. There's actually this is a small rim. Look. If you look at my hands, this is actually a small rim. Welcome back, Ken Scott. Want to see anyone else win beside Max? Let me know in the comments who you want to see win. Let me know. It's getting windy on the grid. Wind on your grid. Rude Van Loon saying 2:30 light rain, 2:50 heavy rain shortly. That is in 3 minutes. A word from the ground is potentially heavy rain in just 3 minutes time. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, keep an eye out for that, everyone. Keep an eye out. Ken saying Lewis will go. I mean, Lewis will go down in 13th place, but with the wind picking up, I wonder. I really want this race to get underway before any rain hits. That by far is the best scenario. It's getting really overcast on the grid now. It's insanely windy. You got reporters trying to interview people. Their hair's all over the shop. The wind has picked up, and it is going to rain like 100%. I'm convinced. I just want them to get underway. And then the rain hits, because if the rain hits before they get going, they might go under safety car or something. So the wind has really picked up here at Zandvoort. It is absolutely blustery. They'll never start a race 15 minutes early, but let's just hope they get it underway. We are just 10 minutes away from race start. Let's get those green lights out, let them be on track, and then let the rain come down. That's what we all want to see. Am I right? Am I right? Am I wrong? We hear the Dutch... That's true, actually, yeah. I don't hear it on this because I have it muted because I'm hanging out with you guys. I'm hanging out with you. T says that rain would get some spice in. Cannon wants a win for Albon. Honestly, if the rain comes down heavily, anything could happen. Anything could happen. So we will see. Funkus Radar says it's not over track. I don't know, man. I don't know. The flag army is so organised. It's like, I don't take this the wrong way, but it's like those military parades you see, where everyone's like marching in time. It's a very similar thing with the flags going on now. Everyone in the grandstand's got coloured flags, and it's like a military precision on the flag waving front. Welcome, Gary. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better. Davina, headlines in the Garden tomorrow. Albon wins GP due to global warming. Well, no comment. Darry, we're always talking about Lando to Red Bull, but what if he would go to Mercedes? I'm not sure why Lando would go to Mercedes right now when McLaren... I mean, McLaren are not as high in the constructors as I think a lot of people would expect, by the way. George says, what do you call arrows pointing at an out-of-control Ferrari? I don't know. What do you call it? Rude saying, correction from Rude, 5:30 light, 3:30 light rain and 3:50 heavy rain. So that is now in 40 minutes. Rude is predicting rain in 40 minutes. Is Sainz using DRS? Welcome back, Natassia. Carlos Sainz. Oh, was that... hang on, what was the question? What do you call arrows pointing at an out-of-control Ferrari? Car loss signs. No. No. I see what you're trying to do there, but I think you're building that joke the wrong way around. You're building it from the punchline and then creating a framework of a joke. And I don't think it's really worked there, unfortunately. So that one is not approved. Not one of your finest ones there, George. Gotta be honest there. Vlatka, what if Lawson not Magnussen one? Don't think it's possible to see a shot. I don't know what anyone knows what the odds are. Anyone know what the odds are on that? Sorry, George, but you know we run a strict quality control procedure here, and that one just ain't gonna cut it, my friend. Ain't gonna cut it. No worries, Beef and Barley. Good to have you with us. Barry says, could I riz you up? I don't think so. I mean, you could try, but I don't think it's going to work, unfortunately. Beaut. Funky says, rude watching Buin Radar as well. Yeah, the local Dutch weather radar, I think, is likely to be the most accurate, right? We'll be accustomed to the weather flows, peculiarities of the Dutch weather. Cannon says, I agree, he flubbed that joke. That's such a... Okay, don't put yourself under pressure, but we do expect better. Are you asthma because you take my breath away? I mean, that is like grade... Like, that is like Division 5 Riz, I'm afraid. I was expecting some Premier League level Riz, but that is Johnson Paints Trophy Riz. Again, not going to cut it. Just not good enough. We expect better. We demand better. Russell says he isn't going to do anything stupid in lap 1. Lewis says, was that said with a wink and a smile? Was that a wink and a nudge? Not going to do anything stupid. Then he goes bowling like Bottas in Hungary. Right, I need to get us on to race start here, by the way. I've made a bit of a mess of this, so... Let me fast forward this and get us onto the race start. Panda, you are Gran Turismo movie guy. I think I saw. Yes, I'm in the Gran Turismo movie. Maybe I should act in other movies. What other movies should I go for? Maybe the next Die Hard? What do we think, chat? What movie should I go for next? Because I think we've nailed the sports genre, the racing genre. Completed it. Rude says GT Rude community member, and yes, it's a local weather radar, so we've got Rude on the ground. Rude knows about the Gran Turismo movie because Rude saw me in Amsterdam. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this done. Yeah, Rude saw me in Amsterdam. Rude's got a selfie. It's race day. Next Fast and Furious movie. We could try and do Fast and Furious. Maybe if Vin Diesel wants a break, I'll just step in and do Vin Diesel's character. Doesn't Vin Diesel basically play himself? What's the name of Vin Diesel's character? Anyone actually know? Am I hyped for Starfield? I will be playing Starfield, but I'm not massively hyped. To be honest, I'd rather play No Man's Sky than Starfield, I think. So let's see how the teams tackle this race. Gary says Ben-Hur. Yeah, if they do a Ben-Hur remake, maybe I'll go for that as the lead character. Right, what I would do is I will get this going and then I will restart it halfway through. Get some vibe in the background. If rain comes, anyone action on what lap? I want the rain to drop like lap 2. Dominic Toretto, I can't believe I forgot. That's probably one of the most famous characters in modern cinema. Dimi says the Italian Job, could do the Italian Job. That's already been remade there and quite badly. Right, we are just 3 minutes away from the race start. Welcome along, everyone. Everyone's filtering in. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in as well. And it's very blustery on the track, but it is not raining right now. No matter what that weather radar says on the screen, it is not raining right now. Confirming no rain. Chat, now's time. Let me know, who do you think is going to win this race? Don't just all say Verstappen. No worries, Darry. You can always hang out in the chat here as well if you want to have some considered chat with it. But let us know who you think is going to win the race. I'm going to go Max Verstappen. I'm going to put my Verstappen emojis in. Here are my Verstappen emojis. Oh, Kate has gone for Lewis. Very strong choice. Lewis has gone Guanyu Zhou. Brave, brave, brave. Very brave choice. Alistair's going Verstappen, Russell, Norris as a top three. So you're thinking Russell's going to get past Lando, Norris here. Maybe at the start, we will see. I'm excited, everyone. I am excited. Softs, medium, hards. Like every race available because... And the sort of compounds in the middle here. And yeah, lots of ominous clouds nearby, although it doesn't look as ominous as yesterday. We'll keep an eye on the weather radar, everyone. Gary says Stroll if it rains. Beef saying Albon. Latas saying Lando, Max, Russell. Signal, Perez. Evo saying Verstappen, Norris, Alonso. So you fancy Alonso up there. T saying Max, Lando, Alonso. Uday saying, how is summer break? Summer break was really good, thank you very much. Hope your break was good as well. Welcome along to the stream. Now, well, I'll have to confirm the stats on the tyres here, but that might be indicative that people think the rain is going to come a little... If the rain's going to come, it will come later, because otherwise I'd expect people to start on the harder compound or tyre and go a little bit longer and try and pit when the rain hits, but we will see. We will see. So a lot of people backing Verstappen. We also got Lando, highly rated. What about Oscar Piastri? No one fancying Piastri to make a move up the grids? We can end that timer now, everyone, because we're basically ready to get going here. You know the drill. In fact, the tyre warmers are about to come off the cars and we're about to go onto the formation lap. Let's see. Davina saying, Max, Alonso, Albon, could you not lower the F1 car noise? It's compete with the voice. Let me know in the chat. We can do that. That can be done. But I'm not going to do it on the basis of one person. I need more people to weigh in on that. I need more evidence. Cannon saying Liam Lawson. That would be the craziest race in history if Liam Lawson's going to win. Evo saying Piastri will just miss out on the podium today. Uday saying Verstappen, Perez, Alonso. Oh, people are saying it's loud. Chat, you got to let me know these things. Jesus. Right, hang on a second. Bear with me. Bear with me. Is that better? Is that a little bit more chilled out on the sound? One second. So everyone is out doing the formation lap, by the way. Formation lap time. And we'll see if anyone is going to make a move on Max Verstappen or Verstappen's going to get a dodgy start. Because if you do get a bad start here, it does really compress turn 1, 2, 3. So you don't want to get a bad start. but we will see what happens. Welcome, Dot, to Discord. Oh, you guys got to keep me updated on what you changes you want me to make to everything. But we're all good now. That's great. Everyone's delighted. Nigel's saying they say rain in 5 minutes. I wouldn't put it past that. I mean, it's very windy out on the in the grandstands as they are completing their formation lap here. Weekend attendance is over 300,000, by the way. It's competing with sort of Silverstone. Welcome back, Snowline, to the chat as well. Evo saying, hot take, I think Verstappen might be jumped by the 2019 rookies. We will see. The class of 2019, they are all going to come after him. Welcome, Shrika, to the channel as well. Max Verstappen has won the last 2 at Zandvoort. I think 2021 was controversial with Lewis Hamilton, wasn't it? I have a man down on the ground as well who's going to keep me updated on the weather. In fact, he has confirmed it is raining. It is raining, light rain on the track. That's from my man on the ground who is at the race today. He just confirmed light raining, probably not enough for tyres yet. You can see some precipitation on the visor of... This might be... I don't know who that advisor is, but someone's got drops in the visor. It's exactly what I wanted. We're going to get going, and it's going to be dry, but then the rain is going to happen immediately. So we're not going to have any shenanigans with a red flag or a safety car start. We're going to get racing, and then the rain is going to hit. The cars are filtering around still on my screen as I see them come in and complete the grid slots. You will see ahead of me what's going on the leaderboards. And let's see what's going to happen, everyone. Niels is feeling the rain in Tarzan. Don't know where Tarzan is, but... raining there. So I'm going to let you know what I see on my screen here. As the last car, Liam Lawson, pulls in to his pit box. And the marshal waves a green flag behind. The lights go on. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And they're out, so let's go. Verstappen with a decent start. Trying to pinch Lando Norris to the inside. And George Russell with a very good start as well. Locks up those, George Russell does. Manages to hold it and is 3-4 wide behind. Alex Albon is challenging George Russell for 3rd place. And it's Fernando Alonso. He's looking very racy. So in fact, Alonso might pickpocket both George Russell and Alex Albon. That is one of the overtakes of the season from Fernando Alonso on lap 1. Just took a completely different line. And it's raining now. It is raining on lap 1. Perfect timing. By the way, Fernando Alonso caught those 2 drivers absolutely napping as Alex Albon gets overtaken there by that be Carlos Sainz. Albon's going to try and fight back, but Sainz is all over Alex Albon. As Fernando Alonso is the big winner there for me for lap 1. Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez also fighting, I believe, lower down the grid there. But yeah, definitely Fernando Alonso. And Lando Norris is sort of within touching distance still of Max Verstappen, but no doubt we'll see that gap extend as there is now spray on the track. This is perfect. It's raining heavily on the track now. On lap 1, as I hoped, it is raining on lap 1. So what is going to happen now? Who is going to struggle? Who is going to come in first for intermediate tyres? Who is going to end up in the barrier? Please, no one crash. Let's not have a red flag here. It is raining now really heavily on the track. It is super heavy rain. And Sergio Perez is the first driver in. Perez comes into the pits. He's going to put on the intermediate tyres. Nothing to lose. Charles Leclerc comes in. I think that's Pierre Gasly as well. Oh, it's all the chocker block in the pits. Perez has to wait on the entry. Disaster at Ferrari. They don't have the tyres. They don't have the tyres at Ferrari. It's an absolute calamity for Ferrari. Charles Leclerc, I think, came in and there were no tyres for him. Classic Ferrari. Get your Italian flags out in the chat, please. Absolutely peak Ferrari strategy there, calling your driver and not having the tyres. Meanwhile, Verstappen, Alonso, Norris at the front of the grid, and looks like Alonso on the standings has got ahead of Norris here. So Alonso is looking very racy, and he's quite close here to Max Verstappen. This is going to be a classic race, everyone. It's going to be a classic race, and I'm going to guide you through it. Max Verstappen, are they going to bring him in this lap? Do they think the rain is going to pass? Can they hang through it? Is it going to get heavier? I feel like the rain is going to come and it's going to go. It's going to come and it's going to go. So let's see what's going to happen. Do they want to lose time? Do they want to risk it or not? Absolutely insane start, though. Chat, I want to see some Italian flags out in the chat there for Ferrari, because the top drivers are crawling around. They are crawling around. Probably Sergio Perez has an absolute masterstroke here. I'll be amazed if the top driver... In fact, I think Perez has already caught up with the back of the pack. Perez is going to inherit the race lead here, I'm certain. The top drivers will have to pit. They will have to pit. Are they going to come in? Yes, they do. Verstappen, Alonso, but Norris doesn't come in. Russell doesn't come in. Lando and George Russell stay out. This is going to be a disaster for them. Surely, surely, surely. No way that is a strategy. I don't believe they've done that. No, 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 no. No, that is not going to work. Sergio Perez is in the absolute pound seats here. Really strong strategy from Perez, and everyone else coming in to change tyres. They've done it a lap too late. A few drivers staying out funky, but yeah, most of the drivers going in. Why did they do it? I don't know. I don't know. Chat, do we think that Sergio Perez could win this race? Do we think Sergio Perez... Hamilton saying we should have come in, man, it's very wet. Hamilton should have come in. He had nothing to lose. Perez overtakes Lando. Perez is going to overtake George Russell here for the lead of the Dutch GP. Sergio Perez has played a blinder. Sergio Perez is in the pound seats to win this Grand Prix. Chat, let me know. Do you think Perez P1? Gary says yes. Tawley saying Perez mad. Cannon Perez in lead. Natasha saying possible. I think Perez... I mean, where is Max Verstappen going to be? Why did Lando not pit? You're losing so much time. You have to pit. You can come in again if you need to get off it. But it's a real mess now on the track. You got people on the inters and you got people on the soft tyre who are just all at sea. I think that's Lance Stroll overtaking Fernando Alonso. Lance Stroll is overtaking Alonso. Alonso will be fuming if I've got that right. If I've got that right, those drivers there. And it's absolute carnage now. You've got people squirreling around the soft tyres. My word, Max Verstappen almost crashes into Lando. So Verstappen makes up a pit stop on Lando in one lap. In one lap, Verstappen comes in basically behind Lando, or similar to Lando, pits, and finishes a lap ahead of him. That is how bad it is on the track. Surely no one can be left on the soft tyre. Everyone needs to come off the soft tyre now. It's just too dangerous. And it was Sergio Perez and Guanyu Zhou as well. It was Guanyu Zhou who called it correctly. Look at that. Unbelievable scenes. Where is, by the way, Max Verstappen? He's up into P4. So Verstappen up into P4. Leclerc in P5. Leclerc should have really profited. Ferrari would have been right up there. Ferrari would have been in P2 easily, but they made a mess of it. Cannon, absolutely horrible miscalculations. One to Hamilton. Hamilton just did not pit. Hamilton did not pit. And he was on the medium tyre. Danny saying Max has the hacks. Yeah, it was very dangerous situation there on track, I have to say. Very dangerous situation. But exactly as I hoped for, I manifested it for you, everyone. I said I want it to rain on lap 1. I want them to get going, and then for it to rain immediately. And that's what's happened. But I think it's going to dry now. I think it's going to dry. So it's going to be a question of who is going to get onto the soft tyre. Who's going to be brave enough to go on the softs? And by the way, who has the most soft tyres remaining? Because you could be coming on and off the softs. So maybe they want to go back onto scrub softs. I don't know. Hulkenberg saying it's raining. Yeah, it is raining. It is absolutely hammering it down. But I do believe the rain is going to pass. I think it's one of those days where the rain will come and the rain will go. By the way, 800 people watching. Welcome, everyone. Do hit that like button. Hit that like button right now. Get us up to 100 likes. If you're enjoying us following along to the race here, all you need to know about the race, I've got you covered. And it is Sergio Perez, Guanyu Zhou, Pierre Gasly. But then look at Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen was able to overtake Charles Leclerc, who pit... Oh, it's a disaster at Ferrari. They took the tyres off. There were no intermediate tyres. They tripped over the car. It's really, really, really painful. If I'm Charles Leclerc, I'm absolutely fuming. Meanwhile, Yuki Tsunoda came in What happened with Tsunoda? Tsunoda had no tyres as well. Guys, are we not keeping an eye on the weather here? What are we doing? Have those intermediate tyres handy all damn day today. How can you bring a driver in and not have the inters ready? Absolutely incompetent stuff there by Ferrari and AlphaTauri. On board now with Alonso, who was on the soft tyres. He was dicing, I think, with Lando Norris. He was able to get past Lando. But then I'm not sure he dove into the pits. He did dive into the pits. He got past Lando and dove into the pits, where it was actually Lando who did not dive in. So Lando is massively lost out there, as has George Russell. There was maybe malfunction as well, but they did not have the tyres. When Yuki came in, they did not have the tyres for Yuki Tsunoda. Max Verstappen, meanwhile, set the fast lap. What does this mean? Well, if Max Verstappen wants to win 9 in a row, he's got to get some overtaking on. He's just done it. He's just overtaken Pierre Gasly, but he's pushed Gasly off there. I think Verstappen might get a penalty. He's overtaken Gasly by giving Gasly no room on the outside. That is very, very, very naughty by Max Verstappen. If I'm Pierre Gasly and Alpine, I'm on the radio to the race organizer here and saying, look, that needs to be a penalty for Max Verstappen, because you can't just overtake by giving the driver on the outside no space. No, sir, that's not how this works. Davina saying Max will still win. Matt saying, let's go Perez. Wow, wow, wow. On board here with Fernando Alonso, by the way, who is struggling. There is, I think, almost the sun's coming out, by the way. So it's going to dry again very quickly. Who's going to be brave? Getting off tyres. It's already a Red Bull 1-2, by the way. Are we going to see team orders? How is Max Verstappen 2 seconds faster than Sergio Perez? Tawley saying no penalty, left the gap. Let me know in the chat with him that should be a penalty for Max Verstappen or not. But look at this. Max Verstappen is absolutely on the move here. On the move. 10-second gap to Sergio Perez. My friend, my engineer at Williams, is really upset at the moment because Alex Albon, you would think normally the team, they get those strategy calls right, and they did not get it right this time, as Max Verstappen overtook Guanyu Zhou so easily. I've never seen such an easier overtake for position for P2 in a Grand Prix ever. That was the most effortless overtake on the same tyres for P2 I've ever seen. Ridiculous. He's already gapped Guanyu Zhou by 3 seconds. And remember, they're on the exact same tyre. Absolutely ridiculous. Cannon saying 5 cars still on slicks. You are what, Alex? What are they doing here? They're so deep. It's sunk cost fallacy. They're so deep. No one wants to put their hand up and say, guys, we made a mistake here. We need to get off this strategy. It's like when you go to Las Vegas, you see people just putting hand after hand, chasing their losses. That's exactly what they're doing. But it is going to dry now. It is going to dry, but they've already lost so much time. It doesn't matter. It does not matter because they've lost so much time. And the way it works with their intermediate tyres in Formula 1 is that you lose so much time if you're late getting off the inters, but it doesn't matter so much coming off them, because the inters are pretty good in drying conditions, but the soft tyres are terrible in conditions where it's getting wetter. So now the top drivers like Perez and Verstappen, they can wait for people to come in on the softs and just check it's working or not. So you're saying, let's get to 100 likes. I'm sure we can get to 100 likes. Gira saying, Uruguay present. Let me know in the chat where you're watching from, by the way. Let me know in the chat where in the world you're watching from. Gary saying the interdeg is massive. So Gary's keeping an eye on the interdegradation. We might see drivers getting some of the blocks moving around, as they say, on these groove tyres. We will see. But keep an eye on the gap between Verstappen and Sergio Perez. That is going to be very, very, very interesting. Ali, could you imagine if someone took a punch on Inter? In hindsight, Ali, starting on the Inters would have been an absolute 4D chess move. And if a team was going to do that, I'd say it would have been Williams. Sainz is getting ready, saying Charles Leclerc has front wing damage. Charles Leclerc has front wing damage. Deary me, Leclerc running in 7th is going bad to worse there for Charles Leclerc. UK, Philippines, Nigeria, American chat. Keep letting us know where you're watching from. Always really cool to see. Stephen's watching from Scotland as well. Charles Leclerc, though, is chasing after Carlos Sainz. But we were told that it was Charles Leclerc who had the front wing damage. By the way, not raining on track now as far as I can see. The rain has stopped. What an amazing piece of rain to cause absolute carnage here at Zandvoort. And I think drivers are already looking for the wet lines here to cool down their intermediate tyres. As we're going to see Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz really battling here, and the Ferraris are in a swap position. Carlos Sainz gets ahead of Charles Leclerc. Welcome Birdie. Namibia in the chat. India, Uruguay, Croatia. Welcome along. Guadeloupe as well. Yeah, it's definitely drying up in this race. And where on earth are we? Need to do a sit rep, everyone. We need to do a sit rep down the leaderboard here. We've got Perez in P1, the driver that came into the pits first, and he's profited from that. We've got Max Verstappen just 5 seconds behind, but looks to be one of the fast drivers on track. Although Piastri is looking very quick. In fact, are those the drivers on slicks at the bottom now doing faster lap times than the Inters? Are those the drivers on slicks at the bottom now doing faster lap times than the Inters? Have a look at the standings, everyone. Have a look at Oscar Piastri. But you know what? It's just not worth it. I mean, what is the pit loss here? 20 seconds or something at most. It's just not worth it because they're still going to end up 40 seconds behind. So we will see, but a lot more chopping and changing. Funky saying new rain coming. Lewis saying more rain on the way. Sander saying this was a small shower. Bigger one is coming. That was just a teaser, everyone. Wow, this is going to be absolutely insane. Guanyu, Zhou and Pierre Gasly, by the way, are battling for P3, and Fernando Alonso is really catching them now. So we've got Sergio Perez, Verstappen, Guanyu, Zhou in P3, Pierre Gasly P4, Fernando Alonso P5, Carlos Sainz in P6, Charles Leclerc P7, Yuki Tsunoda in P8, Esteban Ocon P9, Lando from P2 has dropped down to P10, and Liam Lawson is up to P11 from last place. People hoping for more rain. Put your rain emojis in the chat as Magnussen comes in and takes off the intermediates. Max is the first driver to go from inters to softs, and you can see why. Because Oscar Piastri is 5 seconds faster than Sergio Perez right now. Piastri is 5 seconds faster. You're hearing that correctly. And that is a Mercedes coming in. Lewis Hamilton comes in. He gets off the inters onto soft tyres. Right, here we go. We're going to see everyone get off those intermediate tyres. But what happens if it rains again very quickly? Hamilton from softs. No worries, Uno, it rained at the beginning. It's absolute carnage. We're in a situation now where it's stopped raining, it's getting drier, and the soft tyre is quicker at the moment. So you want to be on the softs right now, but we think it's going to rain again. We're only 11 laps into this 72-lap race. Magnussen pitting early, another car dives into the pits. Albon was already on softs. Piastri stayed on softs. Bottas stayed on softs. Keep an eye on Alex Albon here, who's going to re-climb up. He was qualified in P4. How far up can Alex Albon go as everyone else pits around him? Let's see. It's a 1:18 for Piastri. Remember doing 1:11s, 1 minute 10s in the dry, the full dry. So they're still well off here. Sanders saying no rain predicted for the next half an hour. We will see if that comes true or not. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen is 2.8 off. And who do they prioritise for the pit stop? Who do Red Bull prioritise here? If they prioritise Verstappen. Oh, team orders at Red Bull. Sergio Perez is the car ahead, but they're going to prioritise Max Verstappen. How do you feel about that if you're Sergio P? Because he's going to get undercut here severely. And in fact, he might get undercut even worse than that. Cannon Hughes use up the inters. Yeah, we'll see. If they need to use inters again, could be very, very interesting. My man on the ground saying it's raining again. The word on the ground is it's raining again at Zandvoort. It's spitting again at Zandvoort. Hang on a second. Sergio Perez, if it starts raining again, being the second driver for Red Bull Racing could be absolutely amazing for him. As Max Verstappen comes in, going to take off the inters, but another stay going to be getting through the tyres here. You've got to have some real good tyre admin in this race. Are we going to see the wet weather hit again as I think Ferrari are going to try and do an actual legitimate pit stop this time? We will see. That is, I think Pierre Gasly comes in as well from third place. And you can see the drivers that are being aggressive, they are maintaining that lead. George Russell, by the way, George Russell started this race on the second row of the grid, and he is about to be lapped. He is about to be lapped already. How is that possible? How have Mercedes got this so unbelievably wrong? I do not know. Welcome from Essex and Libya. And farming country Missouri for Davina James. Piastri lost time. Piastri's going back up again. It's really, really difficult. Can see now where the damage was between Charles Leclerc and I think it was Oscar Piastri maybe, or Lando Norris. He lost the front right end plate there. Blacker says, don't we love the dynamic Netherlands weather? Yes, we do. We absolutely love it. Absolutely insane here. Keep an eye on the standings as Perez is going to pit now. Is Perez going to lose any positions? Because if he does, that might be virtue of being a second driver. We will see. Looks like Perez might just keep that position. Fernando Alonso has managed to maintain his position. So has Verstappen. Perez has gained massively. Gasly has gained massively. Sainz is a bit of an underdog here. He's managed to maintain. Guanyu, Zhou and Magnussen have gained. Tsunoda has gained massively. Albon has lost out. Norris has lost out. Leclerc has lost out. And Russell has lost out. I mean, Hamilton was already down there, but they've done a mess with Hamilton for sure. For sure. Now, Perez is only 3.3 seconds behind, but the word on the ground from a man on the ground is that it's spitting again. So what will we see here? I mean, only 13 laps in, and we've already seen 2 pit stops. Really unusual to see that. Really unusual. And by the way, everyone is coming out on the soft tyre. So I don't think those tyres are going to make it to the end. So I wonder if someone's going to be brave enough to come out on the medium tyre and think, well, if it doesn't rain, I'll go to the end and save a pit stop. I mean, the strategy on this race is absolutely mad. Looking at Fernando Alonso coming into the pits, exiting the pits, behind an Alfa Romeo or probably Guanyu Zhou. Is he going to go for a move immediately where he didn't? Yes, he does. Fernando Alonso has a line in, I think it's turn 3 or turn 4, where he did it on lap 1. He is doing some brutal overtakes there from Fernando Alonso. Absolutely fair play. And it's Guanyu Zhou, by the way. He did come out on the medium tyre. So it's Guanyu Zhou who's decided to gamble on the mediums. Lewis saying rip Perez. Well, he's in P2 at the moment. By the way, if you're just seeing my message about where you are in the world now, you might not be live. Make sure you hit that live button so you know we're live here. It is lap 14. And Perez on the radio did max undercutters as I predicted. Perez has been absolutely shafted here by Red Bull. You would say as a driver in front, you should be able to call the strategy. We might see Perez as a man on a mission here. That is possible. Meanwhile, whoa, what is going on here? I think that's Yuki Tsunoda and Esteban Ocon with Alex Albon following. Absolute drama here in the midfield. Very, very tight and congested. You can see the gap between Magnussen to Lando Norris is only about 6 seconds, covering about 7 cars. Bahrain and Atlantic Canada in the chat as well. Yeah, press that live button to make sure you're live. Hit that like button as well, and make sure you're subscribed. You come back in the next subscriber batch that we do here on the screen. There is a premiere as well after this stream. My exclusive interview with Jean-Eric Vergne. So any Red Bull fans, any Jean-Eric Vergne fans, I got to speak with Jean-Eric Vergne asking about Formula 1 and other things. Russell says, I was forecast for a podium. How did we mess this up? And Russell, this is genuine Ferrari strat they've done here on George Russell to end up in P18. Wasso saying rain. It's raining again. It's raining again in the pit lane. Did anyone stay on intermediates? It's raining again in the pits. It's raining again. People are going to come in again for intermediates. Is it just going to burn off the track? It's sunny and it's raining. What is happening here at the Netherlands? Right. Who is going to benefit from this? Lewis saying it's bucketing. Welcome Kenny, Edward, Jap and Juveler. Make sure you subscribe if you want to keep up these live streams and support this channel, support me. I really personally appreciate it. It is raining again. Sander saying it's just a drizzle. Lewis saying it's bucketing, but there is rain right now on the circuit. Absolute madness here at Zandvoort. Funky saying most of the track is dry, but there is rain, I believe, in the pit lane. Is Christian Horner going to be doing the patented Horner weather radar technique? We will see. Meanwhile, this is Esteban Ocon. Oh my word, almost gets put into the wall there by, I believe, Yuki Tsunoda. That should be a penalty for Yuki Tsunoda, and that will be his second penalty of the weekend because he almost put Esteban Ocon into the pit wall there. That is no good. I've been in that situation myself in real life where you get put into the pit wall and it's not a lot of fun. I can assure you. Not my favourite memory of racing. Carlos Sainz is on the move, by the way, trying to chase down Pierre Gasly. Guanyu Zhou did that gamble on the medium tyre. He's the only driver on the medium tyre. He can probably go to the end. Meanwhile, we're seeing here Carlos Sainz trying to go around Pierre Gasly. The Ferrari looks so much stronger. I mean, there's such a disparity between some of the drivers here. Absolutely insane. We saw Alonso get past Guanyu Zhou quickly, but now we know that was down a lot to the medium tyre. Yellow flag in Sector 2. I'm going to keep an eye on it. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. Oscar Piastri comes in and goes onto the soft tyre. What a weird pit stop that is. Why is Piastri... Oh, no! No. Williams in the wall. Logan Sargent has crashed for the second time this weekend. For the second time, Logan Sargent is embedded in the Tech Pro barrier. This might be a red flag. It might be a red flag. Get your yellow emojis out in the chat, everyone. He takes his Formula 1 wheel, he unplugs it, and he puts it on the front there, resigned. Logan Sargent has had a terrible weekend in and amongst getting into Q3. He's lost the right front wheel. It's a safety car now. Was VSC, but now I believe it's safety car. So not good times for my mate who works at Williams, as Logan Sargent has absolutely binned it. Get you yellow flag emojis out, please. I want to see yellow flag emojis. Anything yellow. There we go. Welcome Soldat from the Netherlands. Keep us updated with the weather as well. It's very much appreciated always. Logan Sargent, the man who can crash absolutely anywhere. He's like a Marvel superhero. And his superpower is just he can crash anywhere. He goes upstairs to brush his teeth, crashes. Goes downstairs to get a bowl of cereal, crashes. That's Logan Sargent. And the safety car is going to bunch the whole field up. It's going to bunch the whole field up. Lewis Hamilton, meanwhile, went back up to 13th, where he started, I believe, with the fastest lap. So he was on the move at some point. But George Russell, the sweatiest man. What happened with Logan Sargent? Tips in the car. Is he going to get on the paint? Is he going to get on the paint here? No. Really weird accident where he just sort of... we saw Charles Leclerc, I think, do the same crash yesterday. So very similar to Charles Leclerc's crash yesterday. And the logo says dub radio, but that is not a dub for Sargent there. He's very much taken the L, and he is out of this race. Then we need to recover that car under safety car conditions. Sim Salabim saying Guanyu Zhou going to love it. Meanwhile, George Russell, one sweaty boy, comes in to go onto the hard tyre. So Mercedes feel like they have nothing to lose. Pierre Gasly with a penalty for... I don't know. Speeding in a pit lane. Logan Sargent looks absolutely distraught because it's pretty apparent now that Williams, you know, I don't know how much money he brings into the team, but they can get someone else to bring in that money for sure. Meanwhile, Lance Stroll comes in, tyre change off the softs onto the mediums. So people might be thinking, if there's going to be no further rain, they want to go to the end. And it's Guanyu Zhou who's already on the mediums. Now, I don't know, my knowledge of the rulebook ends here, everyone. But what do we think? For people that have gone softs into softs, I don't think legally they need to change tyre again. I just think factually the deg will be too high and they will need to. Simpson, Russell very sad. Norris, what happened? Norris just got caught out. He didn't come in and pit for the intermediates. Eve just shocked face. Birdie saying Hamilton climbing. T saying Hamilton in the calculation still. What do you think? He's still in the mix, you know. It's a safety car situation here. We'll have to see. There's going to be very mixed strategies now. Very mixed strategies. Maddie saying, bro, he literally crashed in qualifying. If that's Logan Sargent for you. Soldat saying, thunderstorms, lightning, and heavy showers. There is a lot of weather out at sea. There is a huge weather front raining out at sea. I'm going to guess and say maybe 10, 15 miles away. Nautical miles. You let me know what you think about that. So there's another massive weather front. So that's why I think a lot of drivers have kept on the soft tyre here. But if there's going to be safety cars, it doesn't matter about that gap. George Russell was about to be lapped. It doesn't matter now. Has Lance Stroll been lapped? Probably he'll be able to rejoin the back. What tyres are they on? You can see on the gap there, but the first two drivers... Alex Albon says yet to pit. Alex Albon, my word, has not pitted in this race. Surely that cannot be right. Alex Albon, chat, if you have a drink, can we raise it now to Alex Albon? Some drivers have pitted literally 3 times, and Alex Albon hasn't pitted yet. Alex Albon hasn't pitted yet. Absolutely unbelievable. He drove through that rain on the soft tyre, and he's back up in 8th place. Welcome to Ricky, Abdullah, Ravi, David, Josie, Eve, and Yeah, what's different? How long does North Kamal? Sim saying Albon is a legend. Ravi saying, what's your problem with Sergeant Bro? Poor lad is a rookie. Yeah, but Piastri's a rookie as well. What happened with Liam? He kind of went up and he went down again. So it hasn't worked out. We're still on the safety car, by the way. Still on the safety car. Yeah, raise your drinks in the chat for Alex Albon. Cannon saying Roman Grosjean equals Logan Sargent. Not sure about that. Not sure. Natasha's got a cup of tea. We're on lap 19, by the way, under the safety car. So good to have everyone with us again for an F1 live stream. Over 1,000 people watching. We've got you covered here. We've got all the information. I'm letting you know exactly what's going on track, giving you the inside line. We've got people at the circuit. We've got people in the stream all around the Netherlands. And we've got my insight as well. But Alex Albon, why would you not pit under the safety car? Because, well, I just don't know. What have they just forgotten about him? Total lap count is lap 19, everyone. Lap 19. Abdullah saying another Verstappen dub. We will see. Sim going to get frisky after safety car. Keep your own matters to yourself there, Sim. Flatbread says, I've had it with Christian Horner. Let us know, Flatbread. What's happened here? What's been the straw that's broken the camel's back, so to say? We are still under safety car right now. Lando Norris has lost 9 positions. Russell's lost 14. But Kevin Magnussen has gained 13 positions. Guanyu, Zhou and Kevin Magnussen are the big winners out of that absolutely chaotic start to the race. We're not even a third of the way through this race yet. You'd love to see it. Fermented saying Albon equals GOAT. And then a GOAT emoji just in case we didn't know. Manuel, don't worry about watching the race film. Just hang out here and trust me, I've got you covered, my friend. I've got you covered. Funky as well, member for 12 months. Get some claps out for Funky in the chat. The Funkies and Monkeys here for his home GP. Absolute legend of the community. Very, very, very generous behind the scenes as well with his time and also with his donations, which was absolutely huge. Huge supporter of this community, makes all of this possible for all of us. We're going around again under the safety car, by the way. Another way around the safety car. By the way, if you do have access to those emojis and you are supporting Max, you can spam in this chat your Max emojis, or if you're a Lewis fan, you can support spam your Lewis emojis. There's 72 laps in this race. We're on lap 20 out of 72, everyone. Perez is not leading. Yeah, I mean, that is a controversial moment. But if I was Perez, I would have said, I am boxing this lap. I am boxing. Get some intermediate tyres ready for me. Also questionable why they couldn't have done a double stack. Could they have done a double stack? That's a lot of tyres. But would it be impossible to double stack it? No worries, Edwin. There's absolutely no bias here. Pierre Gasly's up in 4th place, but Carlos Sainz was all over him. Niner just... Niner, honestly, it's difficult to do a recap. Maybe someone in chat can do it, but almost impossible to do a recap. But by the way, while we're on the safety car, let's do again. I didn't really catch it last time. Let me in the chat right now. Where are you watching from in the world? We've got South Africa, Johannesburg. Which is going to be the most represented country? Let me know right now, because we're under safety car, so I can easily read your messages. You can see we're all bunched up under the safety car. They're still probably repairing the Tech Pro barrier where Logan Sargent punched a hole in his Williams. Mia's watching from UK, Lewis from Cape York, Simpson from his apartment, Maddie from England, Francisco from Utrecht, Netherlands, Jack from Netherlands, Fermented from Canada, Eva Australia, Nigel from Georgia, Davina Sargent is he's out of the race, Ricky from Canada, Stephen from Sydney, Kobe from UK, Manuel obviously from Finland, Cannon from USA, Vinek from the Hamster Wheel, Matt from America, Rude from Netherlands, Izuvela from South Africa, Eastern Cape, Jasper from Amsterdam, Fermented Fish from Canada, Kaya from South Africa, Ape from Sri Lanka, Marta from Croatia, Vlaka from Croatia, Hobro from Alex from Thailand, Danny just clapping the hams, Emma from India, Thorsten from German, Natasha Netherlands, Random India, Sheikh from Brunei, Soldat Netherlands, Xander Adelaide, Gareth from Manchester, Mia's watching from the bathroom, Raj from Bahrain, Ali from England, India confusingly watching from North Australia, Kate from UK, Lucky from Jeddah, T from Austria. Bear with me, I've got to just get this going. What we got? Clara from Egypt, Anatu from India, and then welcome to Jasper, Sublo, Thorsten, Aussie, Hope, and Raj. Oh, it's cool. Laura's from Ireland. Got Iga from Uzbekistan. Very, very nice, everyone. Awesome to see. Safety car is ending. Safety car is ending. Let's keep going, everyone, with the race now. Safety car's coming in. It is ending. Safety car is ending. So what is going to happen? Who is going to get a good start? I'm going to call it for you as I see it. I wouldn't be surprised if that is not the last one. Yeah, truly international. I think Netherlands and India are the most represented in our stream. I'm going to say Netherlands and India. Green flag. Yeah, we're green flag right now. I'm on my screen. We're not yet, but get those green flags out in anticipation. You guys and girls are experts. Rude and Nigel, you've been here before. And it's really backed up. Oh my word, almost at a standstill. Very dangerous here from Verstappen. Almost at a standstill. I think he's really messed this up, to be honest. The pack is basically 3 miles an hour. You go faster than that on a mobility scooter, frankly. And now with green flag, it's going to be very condensed. We saw Bottas make an absolute mess of that in, was it Portimao or I can't remember where it was. But now let's go. And Verstappen leads him away on the banking, but very, very, very slow. Very slow restart there from Max Verstappen as we get underway. And Carlos Sainz is trying to get past Pierre Gasly into turn 1. Carlos Sainz is going to try and send it. They still go side by side. Sainz at the inside. Is he going to get past? They're still going to be side by side. No, Pierre Gasly holds the position. No change ahead as far as I can see, by the way. But Carlos Sainz has got the bit between his teeth and he wants to really get past Pierre Gasly here. And Guanyu Zhou is going to become a little bit of a bottleneck because remember, Guanyu Zhou is on the medium. Amy is saying he's going to get a penalty. That could be another penalty potentially for Max Verstappen. I thought the overtake on Pierre Gasly early in the race was a little bit naughty, but I don't think that was investigated. But we'll have to see here what happened with the restart because basically the field had to stop. And I don't think that's in the regulation, is putting everyone to a standstill there. Keep an eye on Guanyu Zhou. Alex Albon will want to get past him on his soft tyres, albeit he's on very much worn soft tyres. As I saw a McLaren going very wide there. I think Valtteri Bottas just got a free position from Oscar Piastri. He just went very, very, very wide. Is the stream lagging? It shouldn't be lagging. No lag at my end. Just hit that live button again. We're running at a smooth 13,000 kilobits a second here. Just cruising. This is your captain speaking. And Lewis Hamilton, remember, has the fastest lap. Is anyone going to be super aggressive off the restart here? Remember, some drivers have gone onto the medium and hard tyres. Other drivers staying on the softs. It's sunny now on the tracks. There's no sign of the rain. What lap time? Nope, still 1 minute 16 though off the bat for our first flying lap. Remember, we want to get down to 1 minute 10, so it's still definitely greasy, I would say, which is going to bring with it overtaking opportunities. Danny's saying weather will make it an interesting race. Stephen noting that Alonso is in third. Yes, indeed. Alonso has made 3 absolutely unbelievable. He made a double overtake, I think, on the first or second lap. Let's see what happens here. Is Alex Albon trying to get past? Will that be Kevin Magnussen? Albon looks up the inside. Whoa, Kevin Magnussen with a very late move there. Defensive move. And I don't think Albon will be too happy about that on the radar. Sort of a jink from Kevin Magnussen near the end of the pit lane. Welcome to Kid, John, Khalid. Yeah, this is my McLaren race shirt. I'm a big Oscar Piastri fan. And yeah, everything's sort of settling now. So we've got Verstappen, Perez, keep an eye on the gap there. But astonishingly, Alex Albon has not been into the pits. Not been into the pits. What's going to happen with Ricciardo, we will see. If Liam Lawson does really well, it'll be difficult to displace him. But at the moment, I think Ricciardo has gone to see a specialist surgeon that also treated Lance Stroll and will want to be back as soon as possible. He will really regret, I think, breaking that ligament or bone or whatever it was in his hands. Eva saying he might be targeting a return in Singapore. We will see. Sergio Perez, meanwhile, does a faster Sector 2 than Max Verstappen. And you can see there on the radar exactly what's going on. I don't often look at the radar too much, because I'm looking at things live. You see, Guanyu Zhou, as I predicted, is becoming that cork in the bottle. Alex Albon is going to go for the move. Alex Albon gets past Guanyu Zhou, which is a really significant move there for Albon because he can now make some hay. But when is Alex Albon going to pit? Because if Albon pits now for mediums or hards, he is going to go all the way to the back of the grid. DRS enabled, so that was probably a DRS assisted pass there for Alex Albon. Meanwhile, I'm on board here with Esteban Ocon, who was trying to get past Kevin Magnussen. We saw Magnussen defending heavily before, but, you know, Esteban Ocon just says, fine, I'll go around the outside. So Ocon goes clean around the outside of Kevin Magnussen there. Welcome, Paula. No worries. Good to see you from South Africa. And Danny watching from South Wales. Hope all is good in the southern part of Wales there. Don't worry about that video feed there. Turns involving Albon and Magnussen noted. Moving under braking. That was a bit I just told you about. Magnussen moving very, very, very late. That is being investigated. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso is just a second behind Sergio Perez. Do we think Fernando Alonso could be an unknown quantity in this race? And what happens if it rains again? But Max Verstappen has managed to navigate all of that chaos at the beginning and end up in lap 25, still in P1, setting the fastest lap times of the race. Welcome to speak. Dyer from Essex. Albon taking Nigel Mansell as his role model. Not a bad role model to take. Maybe we'll also see Alex Albon at Ferrari. How cool would that be? Meanwhile, this is Lewis Hamilton I'm on board with, trying to get past Charles Leclerc. They'll have replaced the front wing on Charles Leclerc's car. This is the battle for 12th place. And in fact, it looks like Hamilton does get past Charles Leclerc. And in fact, Leclerc loses out to Piastri as well. It's a bit of a disaster. Margaret, the Dutch lady in Germany. Hope all is good. What is it like being a Dutch lady in Germany? Give us a little snippet of your life experience there. Yeah, Hamilton is very close to Leclerc. I'm having a look here on the start-finish straight. Big overspeed, DRS open. Hamilton goes late to the inside, gets up the inside of Charles Leclerc, and at some point, Oscar Piastri also does the same move. Albon with a tash. Yeah, I can see it. Maybe a blonde moustache. Yeah, in fact, it was Oscar Piastri. I think it's turn 3, isn't it? Is it turn 3 or turn 4? The big banked corner. Black and white flag for Magnussen. K-Mag, like I said, in my experience, not very nice getting put into the wall. And K-Mag's got basically a final warning for that. But there is a line into the banking that Fernando Alonso has done a few times. Oscar Piastri, where you just go up the inside of the banking and you tell the guy at the exit, you need to basically lift off, otherwise I'm going to put you in the wall. And that is what Oscar Piastri has done there. Yeah, T keeping up. So Hamilton is trying to get back into that top 10. So is Lando Norris. They'll be looking at Kevin Magnussen as one of the softer drivers there. Guanyu, Zhou, obviously on the medium tyres. Esteban Ocon has managed to get through the bottleneck of Guanyu, Zhou as well. And will Alex Albon be able to catch up to Carlos Sainz? We'll see. Welcome again, Paula. Hobre, what happened over the break to make Williams so much faster? I have some friends who work at Williams, and they say it's basically just a transformational setup. They're all working in complete harmony. They've all got a vision. They all really feel that James Vowles is the person to lead them into the next stage. And Tsunoda and Ocon Esteban noted again. Tsunoda with the late move. That incident has been noted. Marguerite loves it in Bayern. Very nice. Other Dutch ladies in the chat, take note. Maybe Germany is the destination you should be checking out. Verstappen with the fastest Sector 1. By the way, Fernando Alonso, I'm not seeing it on my screen, but he is only 8/10 behind Sergio Perez. And as we all know, DRS will open within a second. So, to translate that, Fernando Alonso will be getting DRS on Sergio Perez. So what can Fernando Alonso do here? Can he get ahead of Sergio P? I'm having a look here to go around the last corner. Fernando Alonso within the second. Is the flap going to open on the back of the Aston Martin? Yes, it does. He's in the slipstream. Not the longest of straights here at Zandvoort. But he's going to gain. He's going to gain about 4/10 down the straight. So he can get within half a second. I would say he stands a pretty good chance of getting that overtake done. Welcome to Banquet, Gaming Rabbit and me here. And Bangtang and Marguerite as well. Mia saying Albon should have pitted. Well, it's difficult to say. He's in P6 at the moment. He only started P4. I think Williams would take being in P6 at the moment. But remember, Alex Albon, incredibly, has not pitted yet. I mean, just such a beautiful story. All of that carnage at the beginning. We saw Ferrari come in, pit Leclerc, but they had no tyres for him. We saw Verstappen pit late. We saw Tsunoda have no tyres. All of that drama, people getting off the intermediate tyres. Alex Albon, all that time, was just on track, just chilling, and he's come back out in 6th place. I say fair play to Williams, and I tried to call them out on it, but fair play. And now, with Logan Sargent out, they can just concentrate on Alex Albon. Great. What lap are we on? We're on lap 28, my friend. Keep the questions coming if you want to know what lap we're on. But we are on lap 28 at the moment. In fact, I might be able to get that for you. Hang on a second. Bear with me. Let me just try and do something for you here. Take this opportunity to make sure you are subscribed, everyone. You don't want to not be subscribed, basically. You want to make sure that you are subscribed. You miss out on the fun if you're not subscribed. There we go, everyone. That is a inverted lap time, just so you know. Inverted, so you have to go the other way from there. You have to go the other way. Shine to saying Alonso falling back again. Yeah, he got really, really close to Fernando, but then couldn't make it stick. Meanwhile, Alex Albon is just keeping pace with Carlos Sainz. Now remember, some of these drivers have already pitted and they've done all the pit stops they need to in this race. Just as a matter of practicality, they will be able to get to the end on the tyre they're on. Some drivers will not. How Alex Albon has done 29 laps on that soft tyre, I do not know. Alex Albon somehow has made it work, but he will need to pit, and it is going to be painful for Albon when he pits. So arguably Albon should have pitted under the safety car. The safety car was a gift to Alex Albon, but they didn't take it. Maybe Williams were preoccupied with how Logan Sargent was. Was Logan Sargent okay? Was he injured? And they didn't make the call to bring in Alex Albon, because you would think it would be a no-brainer to bring in Alex Albon then when the safety car happened. But we'll see. Davina says, where is that rain? We will see. It's becoming more overcast now. It's more overcast on the track. We've got plenty of Dutch people in the chat who will let us know as well. JJ says, hello, welcome back, JJ. Will there be any race this season that Max doesn't win? As I see, steaming up the side is Lando Norris. Gets the overtake done there on Yuki Tsunoda. Great move by Lando Norris. Great move by Lando Norris, but terrible strategy this race by McLaren, I have to say. Sanders saying rain in 5 minutes, and I can believe you, because it's getting very windy and very overcast again on the track. And maybe that's why Alex Albon hasn't pitted, because Alex Albon just wants to wait until the rain comes, and then he will pit there and save a pit stop. We will see. Timothy's got it as well. Timothy's got it. Williams. By the way, we have the most informed chat in all of YouTube in this stream when it comes to Formula 1. This is the best place to follow along with the Formula 1 races, as I just need to... I'm actually just going to take this slight lull, and I'm actually just going to restart this race here. So just bear with me. Won't take a moment on the bat, just so we got the vibes. Take me about 10 seconds here. We're at 31 out of 72, you can see. Just bear with me, because I started this a little bit early this time, just for the vibes, as they say. But now we are good to go. Ferrari's taking it from... I mean, Ferrari are under pressure here a little bit from Williams in the form of Alex Albon over Carlos Sainz. And Charles Leclerc must have some sort of issue. I've been saying all weekend, if you've been following my streams this weekend, Charles Leclerc has never looked comfortable. He's crashed about 5 times this weekend, and he is in P15. It's an absolute disaster here for Charles Leclerc. Welcome Ivan, Rama, Marquis, John, and Chaitana. Random, some homies are trying to find love here. Is that happening in the chat? Yeah, people are really saying Charles Leclerc is struggling, being exposed. Is Charles Leclerc washed? Jap saying will be more rain in 5 minutes for 15 minutes. More rain in 5 minutes. That is the prediction, everyone. More rain in 5 minutes, and exactly the halfway mark of this race. That would be very, very, very exciting. I would definitely, for one, I would definitely not say no to that. Guanyu Zhou pitted. Guanyu Zhou, I think, is just dropping down because he's on the medium tyres, Rushil. So he has decided to go on the medium in case he can get to the end on that tyre. So within the whole field is within 31 seconds. A pit stop is about 20 seconds, I believe. So again, the whole pack can be shuffled all over again. Meanwhile, Lando Norris going around the outside of Guanyu Zhou. That will be tyre assisted. But Norris did lose out to Tsunoda. So Tsunoda got back on Norris. So it's all chop and change in that midfield. Look how close it is between Tsunoda all the way to really Charles Leclerc. That is a 5-second window with a load of cars in it. Leclerc's on the vacation mode. So yeah, that's a very good point, Mia. Very, very good point. What is George Russell doing Is he just sweating all over the track? Did Mercedes compound an error there by putting him onto the hard tyre? You know, he's been on 4 tyres already. Why is he on the he's the only driver in this race on the hard tyre, and it's only going to work for him if it doesn't rain and everyone else ahead of him needs to pit again. That's the only way it's going to work. But remember, we are seeing Alex Albon go 32 laps on the soft tyre and being vaguely competitive. Paolo says, what in the banana is going on with Ferrari? I do not know, but Carlos Sainz, you know, is still in the mix of getting a podium. He's only 3 seconds off a podium, so let's hold off the Ferrari sort of bandwagon at the moment as I look at Lewis Hamilton go past Guanyu Zhou and get himself into the top 10. Remember, Guanyu Zhou is just filtering back on those medium tyres, and that strategy will not work for Alfa Romeo if it rains again. And the prediction from our people in the chat is that it's going to rain again. Oscar, the pit loss. Yeah, I think it's not the worst pit lane here because you end up going around turn 1 at pit exit speed when other people on the track also have to brake and go around slower. You're not losing time where people like accelerate or going max speed down the straight, if that makes sense. Davina saying poor George is having his worst ever career. Get some sweat out in the chat for George. If you want to see George do better, get some sweaty emojis out for George Russell, who's having a tough race of it today, for sure. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen goes fastest. 3 tenths quicker than Sergio Perez. Welcome, Arthur from the Netherlands. Don't know where the weather is where you are. Davina misses the days when the cars were not so reliable. Yeah. Then there'd always be a sense of jeopardy, wouldn't there? But that Red Bull just looks absolutely bulletproof. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso does the fastest Sector 1 out of anyone. Where are we with this rain? It's very overcast. There's no sun on the track right now, so it's very cloudy. I'm looking at Lando Norris really trying to get past Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda has already received a warning, if I remember. No worries, Maddie. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to Sergeant. Billy Wiz says, well, he binned it. He's out of the race. He binned his car for the 2nd time in 2 days. He is off. Ram says the Red Bull is rapid. Yes, indeed. Looking here with Lando trying to catch Tsunoda. I'm surprised he hasn't really got past yet. But Fernando Alonso on the move, but he's also dropped off Perez. He got within a second. Maybe he got too close in a way. Welcome to Lando. Good to see you again. Ram saying the Red Bull is rapid. Mia saying love from India, bro. Vlatka wants to see Lando do better. Well, Lando can probably get past Albon here. I mean, he's only, what, 8 seconds behind Albon? So let's see if he can eke that out over the race. Is Red Bull good in the wet? The Red Bull is frankly, my friend, it's good everywhere. It's really good everywhere. Oh, amazing. Look, we didn't even have to do anything this time. You guys and girls, does anyone remember these? Anyone know what this is? Chat, let me know. Let me know in the chat if you know what that is. Arthur's in Rotterdam, but there's lots of rain in Rotterdam. Okay, very good to know. We are on lap 35 out of 72. And Verstappen is only 4.5 seconds off Sergio Perez. If it rains again, I wonder if the pendulum might swing in front, swing back to Perez. Why do I say that? Well, what happened last time is that Verstappen was controversially pitted to go onto the dry tyre before Sergio Perez, even though he was behind Perez. When it goes the other way, you might want to put the driver behind onto the intermediate first, just to sense check it. And if Perez calls it right, he could get a lap better than Verstappen when Verstappen's floundering on soft tyres in the rain. Could happen. Is that a freeb? The straw gang knows. Do we have a straw emoji in chat? Chat, is there a straw emoji? If there's a straw emoji, someone find it. Put the straw emoji in so we know that we're the edible straw gang. Don't do paper straws, do edible straws. That's the evolution. We all agree that we hate paper straws, right? No, you can't do that, Hobro. Hobro, that's not how that works, my friend. Welcome, Julie, Billy Wiz, Maria, Scorpio 21, Stephen as well, Arthur, Neil Jones, Daniel, Anna Maria Kalua, Hanny, Wozerti, Carl as well. 36, Leclerc engine problems. I do not know what is going on with Charles Leclerc here. but it's absolutely embarrassing. He's only a second ahead of Liam Lawson, who's doing his debut race in Formula 1 in a car he's never driven. I mean, what on earth is going on here? There we go. Straw emojis out. There is one left. Look how many straws we got. You've got to be creative. In fact, I'd say there's too many. They don't need that many emojis. What's the difference between Evo's emoji and Chaitana's emoji? Tell me that. Riddle me that one. Verstappen, meanwhile, goes fast, fitting with 2, but we are still way off the times we saw in qualifying, but that will be massively, massively fuel affected. So I reckon the track is bone dry at the moment, but the prediction is, are we going to see some rain? I see you, Funky. I agree. Neil saying Leclerc has damage to his floor. I mean, he's just going to be an absolute rage, monogasque rage in that car. One of them must be... Oh, Vlatka's got all of them. Well, the one with the car, they got bubble tea in there as well. Remember the stream when I had a bubble tea? Sold out weather update. Forecast is sunny. Sold out from the sunny weather forecast. Now, let me tell you about the next stage of this race. So, I do not believe that Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and Fernando Alonso, as an example group, have to pit again legally, because they've done 2 sets of tyres. They've done the intermediate and the softs. But will their soft tyres last till the end of the race, or will they need to pit again? Obviously, Alfa Romeo thought we need to pit again. Chat, I don't know where we are on the light front, but if we hit 400 likes, I will, in a magic trick, I will eat this straw, and I will tell you what it tastes like. We need to get to 400 likes, though, for that to happen. So if you're watching, you haven't tapped that like button, destroy it right now for the stream, and I will eat a straw. See, those words have never, ever been said in the world before. That's what you get on this channel. Steven says that Leclerc doesn't have edible straws. Coincidence, yeah. Do they have an edible... Imagine you had an edible, like, straw in your helmet. Should I stream with the helmet on? $600 likes. I put the helmet on. I stream with the helmet on. But that can be very difficult for me to understand what's going on. Meanwhile, is that Guanyu Zhou in the pit? Disaster for Guanyu Zhou. Disaster for Guanyu Zhou. Why? Because he's come in and put the soft tyre on. So why on earth was he on the mediums before? That is a disaster. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That is a disaster for Guanyu Zhou. All of that time on the medium tyre wasted. He was up there in P3. He was in P3 in this race. If he'd been on the soft tyre, he could have competed. But he's gone all the way down to P15, P16. Disaster for Guanyu Zhou. Absolute disaster for Alfa Romeo there. Not the one. They really called that wrong. You know, brave call, could have been the right call, but I think the soft tyre might just be holding together a lot better than everyone thought. Mike says perfect balance now. What do I think about 21's season? It's a great season. We streamed some of that as well. We streamed some of 2021 season. What position is Hamilton? Can't really see. Hamilton's in P10, my friend. Eat that straw. No, it doesn't work like that, Rahul. You've got to get up to 400 likes. Vlatka with the update. Hamilton into P12. Chat, get those Hamilton emojis out if you're supporting Lewis here. Do we have any Lewis fans in the chat? Any Lewis Hamilton fans? You've got to get that emoji. Yeet that straw into your tummy. I'm not your 4-year-old son. I don't need to be told to eat stuff like that. Guys, come on. Come on. Funky Ferrari pit crew looks like they already gave up. Yeah, we'll see. They might need to pit Leclerc again, I don't know. But Liam Lawson would love a scalp here. Liam Lawson is all over Charles Leclerc. Go on, Liam. We'd love to see that, wouldn't we? And that would only take him a few positions out of the points. Liam Lawson following Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc's like a wounded buffalo here. And Liam Lawson's like a rookie cheater, aiming for his first kill in Formula 1. Sainz getting a radio message saying the tyre life for the soft is plus 10 laps. And Sainz has been told they don't think they can get to the end of the soft tyre, but I would be amazed if they don't. I think they will find a way. Carlos Sainz has been told that the soft tyre will not go to the end, but if it's a choice between a 15-second pit loss or going to the end, I'm pretty sure they will just find a way to go to the end. That's what I think. Minchin saying Stroll getting lapped by Max. Yes, indeed. Go on, Liam. Go on, Liam. Get past Charles Leclerc. We all want to see it. It's New Zealand versus Monaco here. And the battle of very nice places to live in the world. Welcome to Ayom, Nina, Sali, Joseph, Jim Powell, and Denis. Russo saying the track is hard on tyres. Yeah, but the soft tyre is still the soft. It's a relatively soft compound in the ones they have available. Enaide Useni says Perez fan here. Samuel's a Lewis Hamilton fan. We're at lap 41 out of 72. George Russell, by the way, has managed to get up to P13. How has that happened? Has he just started overtaking a load of people? Or have people pitted? Chat, how has George Russell got up to P13? Can someone in chat tell me? Liam Lawson trying to get past Charles Leclerc. It's going to be close. Goes up the inside. Gets the move done. But on the standings, Charles Leclerc has got back. So what happens here? It's a double DRS situation. So Liam Lawson is ahead, going around the last corner, and then there will be DRS for Charles Leclerc. Does the flap open on the Ferrari? Yes, it does. So Charles Leclerc, DRS assisted, is going to get back past Liam Lawson. Is that a bit of naivety from Liam Lawson? Should he have waited for that second DRS zone? Maybe. Risha was just saying, Mr. 3. No, we can't say we're going to stab Hamilton. Take a time out for that one, my friend. Actually, you're not my friend. Take a time out there. We're not. No one's going to get stabbed on my watch. Not in this stream. But Liam Lawson will have to do it all over again. But it looks like on the standings he has actually done that. Mrs. Minchin hoping that Yuki gets some points. Chat, what happened with George Russell? Let me know, chat. What's happened with George Russell? Meanwhile, Carlos Sainz has pitted. So they really did believe that that tyre will not get to the end, and they've given up all that track position. But how has Alex Albon done 41 laps? What kind of sorcery is this? And also, I have a question for the big Formula 1 experts in this chat. This has been a wet race. People have been on the intermediate tyre. Can Alex Albon go to the end of this race without pitting? Can he legally go to the end without pitting, chat? What do we think? Super Symmetry, why must I, as a Leclerc fan, always suffer painful Sundays? I know. Chat, come on, we've got 400 likes. We get Eat the Straw. Can let you know what the straw's like. Arthur saying drawing Rotundo. Zen saying Leclerc out. Zen saying Leclerc out. Leclerc into the pitch. Has he just given up? Get your red emojis there for Charles Leclerc. Because Charles Leclerc has had one of the worst weekends I've seen since Sergio Perez had a bad weekend. Did not look good all weekend. I wonder if he just said, I've had enough. I'm coming in. I wonder if that's what's happened there. He wants to get out of the car. They're on the jacks. It's a very public sign of distaste. But what if it's a wet race? If you start on the wet weather tyre, you don't need to pit. Steven says Leclerc into the pits for an edible straw. We'll see. Maybe he'll get the edible straw and then he'll go out at mega speed. It's not declared a wet. Why is it not? So how do you know it's? I'm not. No question. How do you know it hasn't been declared a wet race? Lando Norris, meanwhile, comes in. So we're starting to see a wave of pit stops. Is that going to put pressure going up and apply pressure to Perez and Verstappen to pit? No mandatory pit stops in wet races. And I saw water. I saw water on the track. Oh, Chris, thank you so much for the 99 cents. Thank you so much, Chris. 99 cents, the euro, basically. Chris Quirk. Can we get some legend emotes out there for Chris Quirk? Thank you so much for supporting the stream. I massively appreciate you, Chris. Absolute hero there. Support. You make all this possible. All of the stuff it costs to do this, you make it possible. Thank you so much, Chris. Can we get some legend emotes, claps out there for Chris Quirk, donating to the stream? What an absolute hero. Thank you so much, Chris. We all appreciate it. We all appreciate it. The stewards declare. Wet race not declared. Okay, so stewards will declare it. Is Leclerc sleeping in the pit? I don't know. I've heard he's getting an edible straw. Am I doing the after-view interviews? Not here, but there will be a premiere. Well, yes, I am interviewing Jean-Eric Verne. Formula 1 legend Jean-Eric Verne is premiering after this stream. So this stream will take you to a premiere with Jean-Eric Verne. So don't go anywhere. I asked him all the difficult questions. Don't worry about that. Leclerc driving like a drunk gypsy today. Black guessing he's used the whites for his visor. Yeah, George Russell no longer sweating. He is up into P10. He was down in P18, almost got lapped. And now he's only, he's only 20 seconds on Alex Albon, who needs to pit, presumably. Does Sargent have a failure with an error? I think Sargent binned it. So whether it was driver or not, I don't know. Lap 44, #blessed in the race. And Sergio Perez is 8 seconds behind Verstappen. But I'd be, if Verstappen and Perez don't pit here, it shows how good that car is in so many dimensions. Because Carlos Sainz and the Ferrari, they had to pit. But look at the lap times Carlos Sainz is doing. Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, 14.9s. That is a second quicker than Sergio Perez. That is almost 2 seconds quicker than Yuki Tsunoda. What does that mean? It's going to put pressure on the drivers ahead. Piastri is going to drop down. Drivers will need... Alex Albon pits. Albon pits. So Alex Albon has gone as far as he goes, and they put on the medium tyre. Which is interesting, because if he had done the shuffle, if he'd done the dance of going onto soft tyres into softs, he would have been able to put softs on again, but because he didn't, he has to put on mediums. Thank you, QDDG, for the SEK, for the SEC. Thank you so much for the 27 SEC, QDDG. Thank you so much. Can we get some claps out in chat for QDDG, please? For the legendary support of the stream. Thank you so much, QDDG, for the SEC. That is a complicated currency and username to deal with, but hopefully I've managed to get that right. Thank you so much, absolute hero. Scarlett is new to F1 racing. Is there anyone in the chat who's new to F1? Let me know in the chat if this is your first F1 experience, because we have some F1 experts in the chat here who can let you know, like OG and Richie. Look at the chat claps coming out from Timothy, Maddie, Jolanda, community support. Logan Sargent binned it, by the way. Pit stop for a Red Bull. Sergio Perez pits. Perez is in the pits. So we will see Max Verstappen come in the next lap. Now, unless Perez can do the undercut of all undercuts, Verstappen is going to maintain the lead here. But interestingly, Perez has sort of, shown their hand as Lewis Hamilton comes in as well to go on softs. Now remember, Alex Albon is at a massive disadvantage here because he has to use a medium tyre. The other there's some drivers in this race that won't even touch the medium or the hard tyre, like Lewis Hamilton. Always Awam. Oh no! Oh, thanks, Farina. Appreciate it. What am I sipping on today? It is Coke with some sort of... It feels like... You know that pink ethanol you get at hardware shops? I think it's that pink ethanol. It's very, very, very strong, whatever it is. But not going to say no. Need to keep hydrated, obviously. Lewis Hamilton goes purple second sector immediately. And like I said, exclusive interview with John Eric Verne following the stream. And that's actually going to take you to my brand new motorsport channel, Kirith Motorsport. Haven't revealed it yet. This is basically the first video on it. This is an interview with John Eric Verne. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly comes in and looks like they're taking a penalty. That would have been when he defended on the straight. Oh no, that was for speeding in the pits last time. So Pierre Gasly takes a 5-second penalty. That's going to be really bad for Gasly. Going to drop Gasly down. Although, to be fair, he's only done a P6. I mean, that 5-second penalty for Gasly is incredibly costly. That 5 seconds has taken him from P4 to P6. Terrible for Gasly there. Dark Clouds, Neil saying, do we think rain again? With 25 laps still to go, do we think there can be more rain in this race? Let me know. Natasha says, Vamos Carlos Sainz. Vamos indeed. We've got some Carlos Sainz fans in the chat. Up into P4. He's on the soft tyre. Meanwhile, Verstappen has not pitted yet. So are Verstappen and Alonso going to go to the end? Now look, what I have to say about this is that let's just temporarily remove Alonso for the picture. There's no way, surely, or maybe there is. With 25 laps to go, Perez is a second a lap quicker than Verstappen. So that 27-second gap is going to evaporate. So Verstappen has to pit. Verstappen is being forced by Perez to pit, right? Because Perez is lapping a second a lap quicker than Max Verstappen. With 25 laps to go, And a 27-second lead is there and thereabouts. So it's that cascade we see of the pit stops. It starts somewhere in the midfield. This time it actually started with Guanyu Zhou, and it sort of just filters up, and it eventually hits the people at the top. Common size dub. Slav says size is irrelevant. Very harsh. Very harsh there. Welcome to Yuki in the chat. Me just says your dad. What? There's no context to that. I'm going to provide some context. When are we going to see Max Verstappen pit? What lap are we on? If you have a look at the top, Maddie, I've just amended it for you. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso boxes, and he comes out just ahead of Gasly. That's speeding in the pit lane. If I'm Pierre Gasly, I'm absolutely kicking myself, and I've done it before. Not in real life. I've never been pinged in real life. It's quite hard to do, but in sim racing, I've been pinged. And by the way, chat, earlier on in the pre-stream, we were talking about what an F1 wheel is like. Got a lot of videos talking about F1 style sim racing wheels, but also an exclusive with the Nissan Formula E steering wheel. Some really interesting stuff with how that steering wheel works that you don't want to miss. I don't think I'm fast on Super GT. Hello, viewers. Right, so Verstappen comes in and out. Where is Verstappen going to come out ahead of Sergio Perez? What is the gap going to be? Meanwhile, we see, I think that's Piastri and Lando Norris getting past a Haas of... How is he getting past a Haas? Was this early on in the race? I know they got the wrong thing up. Maybe it's Piastri, but a lot of drama there in the midfield going on. Magnussen was well up there at one stage. He was up 13 positions. Now he's dropped all the way back down again. Funny Hape smirk. Ever broken a finger in that wheel? I've really hurt my fingers karting sometimes, but not in that wheel. Eleanor's crying in Ferrari. Looks like a nice Ferrari in your picture, though. So Max Verstappen with a 2.2 second stop comes out 5.3. So Perez did manage to get some time back. So a little bit of an undercut there by Perez. But now Max is on fresher tyres. And unless it rains, he will go to the end of this race. In fact, I think everyone in the grid is now good to go. What happened to Liam Lawson, by the way? Disaster for Liam Lawson somewhere that I did not see. Charles retired. I don't know if it was a self-retirement of the car, though. Might have been a self-retirement. Alonso fastest sector 1 out of everyone. Neil saying Alonso podium gone. Well, wouldn't it be great to see Carlos on the podium? Well, Alonso actually is only a second behind Carlos. It could be a big battle between Aston Martin and Ferrari to get that third place. Roy says, what's happening with Hamilton, with Lewis? He's just pitted. He's been done a little bit by the pit stop. Look at George Russell, by the way. Going onto the hard tyre, but surely he is going to be lap time limited. He's doing 15.6s, where Alonso is doing 14.1, so he is going to be eaten up. I think Russell is going to finish this race outside of the points even. That's my prediction for you. Sergio Perez driving super fast well, but have a look there. Alonso, 14.1 from Alonso. Funky saying rain in 15 minutes. There we go, straight from the Netherlands. Rain in 15 minutes. Hamilton, Merc strategy. Yeah, I mean, the Merc strategy, they really dropped the ball there at the beginning. Just didn't bring in Hamilton, didn't bring in Russell. And then the Russell going on to hard tyres. It looks decent now, but I don't think it's going to work at the end with everyone else being on fresh softs. Roy saying, supposed to rain. MZ wanting the smooth operator. Get your jazz emojis out in the chat if you're supporting Carlos Sainz here getting this podium, because Fernando Alonso is all over him, all over him. There is huge rain on the radar. There is big rain on the radar. If that rain is going to hit, there is biblical rain on the radar. Biblical rain. This could be big. 21 laps to go. And that is going to be about, what is it, about half an hour, slightly less than half an hour? So if the rain's coming in 15 minutes, it could be a very wet and slippery end to this race. Joe saying one of those supercell rains. There's a big old supercell coming in off the North Sea. Probably a UK export, that one. Supercell, Alonso gets science. Let's see, Alonso does get science there. I'm going to let you know how it happens. Is it going to be DRS? As they go around the banking onto the start-finish straight, Alonso is within 4 tenths. We've seen that's what DRS tends to give. Science goes defensive. Alonso goes to the inside. Pretty much a regulation overtake there by Fernando. Alonso gets the move done. So we see Alonso back on the podium with Aston Martin. You love to see it. You're then saying 16 centimetres predicted. I mean, that would actually be biblical. That would probably be bad news for Amsterdam. Hobro Rain bogging down softs and jettisoning Albon to a podium. Let's see. The strategist might have one more big call to make here. One more big call. But with weather like that, that could go wet weather tyres. I'm telling you. The weather that's coming in is just going to, whether it's going to hit it in the race or during the podium celebration. That is the big question. That is the question. Meanwhile, Verstappen is 7.2 seconds ahead. There's only 3 certain things in life. Death, taxes, and Verstappen wins in Formula 1. Meanwhile, great battle here between Alex Albon and Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda getting past. But then, as you're going to see, Alex Albon is going to manage to get back. I think that might be DRS assisted. Jaluva Mathabula saying go Russell. Francisco with the weather prediction coming. Rain to start about 4:30 local time. That is in 13 minutes. That's what I'm hearing. Rain starting in 13 minutes. 13 minutes time. And there is way more than 13 minutes to go in this race. Do not go anywhere because I'm going to try and cover this again. Who is in the pound seats here if it rains? It's going to be whoever makes that bold call. Because it's so congested in the midfield. Look, between Russell and Piastri, P6 to P12 is 10 seconds. So if anyone there makes a super bold call to get on the Inters just before it starts raining, they will profit massively because this rain is going to come in and absolutely douse the track. Welcome to Winter Isutra. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. You guys and girls can really grow the stream, and our vision is that we want to do these live streams live on a circuit. We want to do them live. So please take the opportunity right now. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, then I really appreciate you. You guys and girls are amazing. You guys and girls make this possible. You made the possible the premiere following this afterwards with Jean-Eric Verne. So all eyes now on the weather coming in. Liam Lawson 6 seconds behind Bottas. Hopefully Liam Lawson could do well. A really bad day for the Haas cars. Really bad day for Lance Stroll. Look at the gap between Alonso and Stroll there. Disastrous. Charlie saying go Hamilton. We need to see 2021 back. Yep, hopefully. Verstappen's on the radio probably complaining about something. Sleepy supporting Red Bull. Neil saying Yuki damage. Damage for Yuki Tsunoda. But Lando, Norris and Yuki are in some epic battle. And in fact, Yuki Tsunoda and Russell causing a collision has been noted. I don't know if that was Yuki Tsunoda. I just feel like Lando needs to be a little bit more sendy. He just needs to send it and say to Yuki, look, if you turn in, there's going to be a crash. If you don't turn in, you'll live to fight another day. He needs to force that decision upon Yuki Tsunoda. Arcus saying heavy raid incoming. Who's going to raid us? Scarlet Red Bull indeed giving wings. Isn't it fun to hang out, by the way, every F1 race and follow this season? And like I said, I'm here till I die. Streaming F1, that's how we roll. Oh, Lando just about gets past Tsunoda. Was it Tsunoda? No, Lando, by the way, was fighting with Lewis Hamilton. So Hamilton and Lando are going to get past Tsunoda. This might be very interesting. They're coming around the last corner. Hamilton is behind Lando. Lando is behind Tsunoda. They're both going to get DRS. Lando pulls into the slipstream, gets past Tsunoda on the outside. Hamilton tries to follow him through. Hamilton tries to go around the outside as well. Almost contact. And Hamilton manages to squeeze around the outside. So double overtake on Yuki Tsunoda. Maybe it is damage for Yuki Tsunoda because 2 overtakes on him in one straight. Hamilton was very opportunistic and he is now chasing down Lando Norris as they're looking to make headway into the top 10 here. And really it's George Russell who is a driver on the hard tyres. And Alex Albon, remember, is on the medium tyres. So Ocon, Norris, Hamilton will be looking to get past. In fact, Hamilton gets past Norris there. You can see Hamilton gets past Norris. Darko saying Leclerc is washed. By the way, everyone that was saying Perez is washed, can we agree that Perez is not washed? Do we think Leclerc is washed? Leclerc washed, yes or no? Let me know in the comments. What lap? It says on the screen, my friend. 17 laps to go. Just have to do some quick maths. Yuki complained about front wing. Yeah, maybe that was an issue with George Russell we saw. Eleanor, you've been cheering Carlos Sainz all this live. If you're a Tifosi, you shouldn't say that Charles overrated. Good job, I'm not a Tifosi then, and I'm free to say whatever I want. Frankly, even if I was a Tifosi, I would just say whatever I want anyway. I'm not bought and paid for. I just say what I feel, frankly. Alex Albon has got past George Russell, by the way. So Albon gets past George Russell, really indicating the lack of pace that Russell has on that hard tyre. Are there no showers in Monaco? A heavy rain incoming. That is coming from my person down on the track. Heavy rain incoming. Meanwhile, someone's flying a banner around the track. Bear with me. Someone's flying a banner saying, "Don't drink and drive." Okay. When you can drink and fly. Is that an advert for a airline? Hamilton getting past Lando. I don't think there's any contact there. That rain is heavy. AF. But chat, we are just 15 laps away from the end of the race. But there is heavy, heavy, heavy rain. Meanwhile, I've got to do a pit stop with my battery in my headset. So if you want to time me now. So I take this off. How quickly can I do a pit stop and change this battery? You ready? Someone time it. And we're back. Front wing change. How was that? Anyone time it? Welcome Wolf, Raymond, Manthus, and Uvi Sharma. What? Ferrari's own worst enemy. Yes, right. So where are we? Fernando Alonso is really dropping off. But remember, he's overtaken Carlos Sainz. Gasly and Sainz locked into a battle. So I wonder if Gasly will fancy getting past Carlos Sainz here. Albon is in a great position for Williams. Big, big point. And surely team orders between Russell and Hamilton. Hamilton is on by far the faster tyre. Think about how messed up this is. Oh, battery change. Oh no, got a penalty. Think about how messed up this is. George Russell started this race in 3rd place. He is going to get team orders to give the position up to Hamilton, who started in 13th. Like, absolutely mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad. Why is Leclerc out of the race? Because he just came in. Maybe floor damage, we were saying. Vlatka says 12, Yuki saying 16, Evo 15.1, Sander 15, Jack 15, Mia what are you talking about? 33 seconds. I think we'll go there average at a 15-second pit stop, so we'll try on the next battery one if I can just... I could have timed it, so I turned it off as I was taking it down. There we go. Funky saying wets or inters or wets. Heavy rain incoming. My man on the ground saying some really dark skies overhead now. Remember, it rained on lap 1. Wouldn't it be poetic if it rains right at the end of the race as well? As we see Lewis Hamilton get past Esteban Ocon like Ocon does not exist. So Hamilton on the move. And surely team orders with Russell. Surely team orders. There's 3 tenths in between them.
Ocon has also pitted.
It's thunder near me, or it's a plane. I think it's a plane. What are they doing at Mercedes here? What are they doing? Wasso saying full wets. Neil's rain is coming very shortly. No worries, Anthony. Yeah, definitely stay. Check out all the stuff. Remember, we got an interview with Jean-Eric Verne following this. I think it's scheduled at 4:15, so we'll hang around till 4:15 and UK time, and then we'll go across to that premiere. Funky saying 2 minutes rain. 2 minutes rain to really, really, really mess things up. Mess your S up might be happening here in the race. And Hamilton does get past Russell, by the way. And he'll now be chasing down Albon. And maybe a P6 can be a recovery drive for Lewis Hamilton here, we will see. Rogue saying George almost spun. I'm having... Oh, my word! George turned in. Very, very weird. Turned in that regulation turn. Lost the back end. And did he yield to Hamilton? No, he definitely defended. He definitely defended here. So why there was no team orders in what seems to be quite a, standard team order situation, I don't know. Super Symmetry says the sky looks wetter than the otter's pocket. Yes, indeed. First time I've heard that pun used in a family-friendly way, actually. It's quite nice. Slav Lewis to go to F3. Not sure about that. Slav, you go to Specsavers yourself, maybe. What's happening down the grid here? Norris and Piastri. Norris starting this race P2. And how is he down in P10? I do not know. Verstappen lapping Liam Lawson. Red Bull on AlphaTauri there. What else do we have? What else do we have, everyone? All waiting for the rain with 12 laps to go. Very heavy. That rain is going to hit. I think it's inevitable the rain is going to hit. And I actually think it's inevitable it's going to hit before the race ends here. Welcome to QDDG. Thanks so much for the donation as well. Mariam, Anthony and Tristan. If you're watching and you're not subscribed and you want to be part of the community, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. I know that if everyone watching hit that subscribe button, we would go to one of these races in the near future and be able to stream it live. What happened with with George Russell there? Lewis Hamilton was not impressed. Imagine if they'd taken each other out. But remember, Russell on the hard time, maybe it was a point of pride. He didn't really want to give up that position. Intermediate tyres for Sergio Perez. Stop the press. Inters for Sergio Perez. Perez is making the big balls call here. Big balls call for Sergio Perez. He wants a race win. Meanwhile, Ferrari, it has to be Carlos Sainz coming. It is raining. It's going to be heavy rain. I've been telling you. They're all coming in. Are there wet weather tyres for the Ferrari? Yes, there are this time. The intermediate tyres. Decent stop for Sainz. Does he get overtaken in the pits? I do not know. But Verstappen stays out. Keep an eye on the weather here. Issue for Mercedes. A bit of a slow stop. They're double stacking. Hamilton comes in first. Then it's George Russell. That's why Russell wanted to defend the position. He wanted to be the first driver in. It's raining down the start-finish straight. What does this mean? What does it mean for Verstappen? Have a look at the sector times if we can. Max Verstappen sector times. Is he going to get jumped here by Sergio Perez? Have a look. Have a look. They're waiting for Verstappen. Thank you so much, Ivan, for the RST 500 salute for the F1 fans. Thank you so much, Ivan. I really, really, really appreciate it. Give yourself a salute there in the chat. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen comes in on the intermediates. How much time has he lost, if anything? What is going on here? What is... Or maybe just eked out such a gap. And what is the correct tyre to be on? There are 10 laps to go. Do not go anywhere because this is about the... It's all about to hit the fan here. So, Alonso's now in the pits. I do not know how Perez has ended up with a bigger gap to Verstappen. I just don't understand how that's happened. I cannot explain it at all. Alonso's in P3... Has anyone really benefited from that? I think Lando has benefited. He's on the intermediates. And Esteban Ocon has gone onto the full wets. Esteban Ocon is on the full wet tyre here. But chat, how has Perez not gained more there? I do not know. Maybe Verstappen was just so far ahead already, and that might be it. But opportunity there for Perez. Took a brave decision there. Meanwhile, Williams changed for Alex Albon. Have a look here. And everyone is on wet tyres, but it's only Esteban Ocon on the full wets. Have a look at the lap times. Are these 1 minute 40s or are they everyone's pitted? No, 1 minute 23 from Perez and 1 minute 23 from Sergio Perez. Are we going to go into full wet conditions? Wasso saying not smart. Chat, do we think it's 4D chess from Alpine? 4D chess. Thanks so much, by the way, Ivan, for the donation. Massively appreciate it. Huge donation there. Please get your claps out in chat for Ivan, supporting us all here in the community. But do we think it's 4D chess from Alpine or not? Keep an eye on Esteban Ocon and those mini sector times. What is Esteban Ocon doing? 1:33 for Ocon. Is it too wet? Is it too wet? Do it quickly, Jolanda. You don't want to miss out here. Close your eyes quick. I imagine it's raining where you are as well in the Netherlands. Ocon's on the radio saying, this is the worst decision, guys. So it sounds like, no! Red Bull off! Red Bull off! Red Bull off at turn 1. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? It's Perez. Perez off at turn 1. Loses out to Alonso. Goes deep. He's in the gravel. Has to rejoin the track. Perez loses out. Is it going to be really, really wet here? It might go into full wet. Hold on to your hat, Esteban Ocon. Hold on a second, Ocon. It's raining heavily. Only 9 laps to go. Sergio Perez goes off the track. He's only 3 seconds behind ahead of Gasly now. It's crazy where we could be talking about red flag here. If anyone goes off here, they will red flag this race. They will red flag this race. I guarantee it. Big aquaplaning by Sergio Perez at turn 1. Very nicely dealt with. Does a 360 during the lockup. Insane, mad, no-scope 360 there from Sergio Perez. But what is going to happen here? Who is going to make a mistake? No Logan Sargent. In fact, he hits his rear wing against the barrier there. Full wets Max. Max Verstappen full wets. Yeah, there's a Sauber there, so an Alfa Romeo going deep. So VSC, someone is off at turn 1. VSC, Max Verstappen onto full wets. Verstappen onto full wets, but there's going to be a VSC. So they have to safety car this. There's going to be too much aquaplaning at turn 1. It's like the Nürburgring GP. Oh my word. No. This is red flag. This is red flag. The circuit has gone into the sea. It's literally part of the sea now. There is standing water, rivers all over the track. It's Guanyu Zhou's had a really weird race. He's gone into the Tech Pro at turn 1. He's staying in the car because that is the safest place to be. The safest place to be. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez comes in to go on wet weather tyres. This is absolutely insane. Red flag. Get your red emojis out in the chat, everyone. Get your red emojis out. We're under red flag conditions now. Red flag situation. Get your red flags out. Red flags. I want you to let me know who's a winner, who's a loser. Perez just pitted he's in the pit lane as the red flag happens, and it goes red at the end of the pit lane. So they might have to wheel Perez back in. Disaster for Perez. Disaster for Perez. In fact, anyone else who had just pitted, disaster. Anyone else who ironically did not pit, they've benefited from the red flag. But the circuit is now underwater. It's basically the Atlantis GP 2023 here. Who's won here? Hamilton's massively won out. Alonso, Gasly, Sainz. Lando's won back a little bit. Terrible news for Perez there. Ironically, Esteban Ocon, who made the sensible choice, has lost out because they've red flagged it. And that's why you should never go onto the full wets. Because if you go onto the full wets, they're going to red flag the race. They're going to red flag the race. What happens now, chat? There are 8 laps remaining. We've got a good amount of time remaining. The light is good. What is going to happen now? They go, oh, I thought that was Hamilton out of the car. No, it's not. It's Guanyu Zhou. Sorry, similar helmet. Guanyu Zhou now leaves the car. Will the race restart under these conditions? Chat, let me know. Do you think the race is going to restart? Welcome, Adolfo. And there is Lando Norris sitting at the front. They're not even taking the inters off because they will not restart this race unless it's intermediate conditions. The wet weather tyres are useless. There's still Pierre Gasly out on track. Why the hell are there still cars out on track? Half of the cars are in, half the cars are out on track. Are they burning fuel? What is going on here? Finish under safety car is not what anyone wants to see. Yuki Tsunoda went off at turn 1 and just managed to keep out of the barrier, and then Guanyu Zhou did not, aquaplaned in. And at that point, I was certain it was going to be a red flag because just aquaplaned into the barrier there. No grip available on those intermediate tyres, and frankly, I don't think the wets would have been too much better. Rotating turn 1's a nightmare. They don't allow full wet running because I think it's too dangerous and the cars get too damaged. Guanyu Zhou with a pretty big impact there into the Tech Pro as well. They're going to need to repair that Tech Pro in the rain. What I think they should do with Tech Pro is they should just have it in an interlocking way where they can just lock out that piece of Tech Pro and replace it with another one. But he's punched a hole. Lewis Hamilton went deep as well at turn 1. Managed to go onto the escape path. Let's have a look here. Will be a pretty scary lockup. Yeah, but Lewis Hamilton absolutely did the right thing. Actually went onto the gravel to slow the car down. So Hamilton did some 5D chess there by deliberately going onto the gravel trap. Whereas Guanyu Zhou tried to save it on the tarmac and it just became an ice rink for him. 17 mils of water on the track. Will they parade Max Verstappen round as the winner at his home Grand Prix behind the safety car? What do we think about that, chat? That front white spot, yeah, just aquaplaning. I've got some videos when I've been racing in real life and aquaplaned, and it's just like everything for me goes very quiet, and it goes into slow motion a little bit because the car starts to rotate on its axis a little bit, and you're just trying to wait for it to grip. Please grip, and then when it grips, then you got to go. Ganache pause the work for this. Yes, indeed. Bear with me. I just need to do something in the old race here. Get that done.
And box now, stopping in front of our garage. Yeah, confirm. Happy to box at the end.
Bear with me, chat. Sorry. I've just been down there, but just wanted to get that right. Yeah, red flag conditions with 8 laps to go. I believe the rain is a bit less already. I don't know. Esteban Ocon's got a red light in his helmet. It's interesting. Unless his brain is just flashing red. Or it's probably the car ahead of him with the rain light. Typical Dutch weather we're getting in the comments. Yes, indeed. All of the seasons in one day. Ocon wasn't happy with the call. But I don't think he was really aware of why he wasn't happy. And I have raced Esteban Ocon. He's a really nice guy. I've spoken with him. But I think the reason why it was a bad call is that you may as well just survive on the inters until it gets red flagged.
Understood. Remember the pit lane speed limiter.
Slab says rain shows the best drivers. Random, what happens if the race doesn't resume? Then we have done enough for full distance, and full points will be awarded in the order you see now on your screen. So if you are Sergio Perez, you have massively lost out because of the timing of the red flag. You have lost a podium because of the timing of the red flag. That is the facts. We're always saying Red Bull cheat every year with the cost cap. Oh. What happened to Leclerc? Leclerc crashed Ella Lepera Mala. But what's going to happen now? It's very, very wet on the track. Very wet on the track. Red flag conditions. What an exciting race it's been today, chat. Hasn't it been an exciting race today? Lots of drama. We'd love to see it. And there go the recovery vehicles who will head off to turn 1 to fix that Tech Pro barrier. Logan Sargent's watching from a deck chair. So not sure why he hasn't gone back to the garage to help out his mate Alex Albon, but he's just chilling on a deck chair. Kimi Raikkonen style. Max Verstappen's in the pits. He's leading the race. They've done everything right for Verstappen so far. They've called everything right. But now they need to do it again because wet weather. And if you're Max Verstappen, by the way, when they go out under safety car, because no doubt they will try it once, Max will be on the radio probably saying, this is way too wet to go racing. He will want to minimise the amount of laps, I would imagine, to go racing. Do you agree with me or not agree with me? Perez is shuffled to 6th place, Cannon, because they had overtaken him on track. And there is some... They've erected some gazebos in the pits, and the Red Bull team are not happy with the FIA cameraman. That's not how this works, I'm afraid. The cameraman can go wherever they want to go. Welcome Sky and Ella as well. Francisco saying it should rain almost the next hour. Wow, well this could be very interesting then. This could be very... Sergio Perez has gone into the garage with an umbrella. That's... Sergio, have you ever used an umbrella before? But I'd be mightily pissed if I were Sergio Perez. Unless they will do some sort of back count and they will count it back to a lap before. Order for restart 1, 14, 11, 10, 55, 44, 4, 63. So FIA have just confirmed he got it back. His engineer went 3. So lucky for Perez there, they've got it back to maybe a lap or something. Lewis says, I don't think this restarts. Well, FIA have just said they've done an order for the restart. Nathaniel, another reason why there should be no wet weather tyre in F1. That's exactly what I'm saying, Nathaniel. I completely agree with you. Chat, can you name me things in the chat that are more useful than the Formula 1 wet weather tyre? I'll start with one. I'll start with a chocolate teapot. That is actually more useful than the wet weather tyre in Formula 1. Let me know some others in the chat. As they're replacing the Tech Pro barrier now at turn 1. They're doing a pretty good job of it, to be honest. There's a guy on the barrier. Why is everyone else want to... Guys, Leclerc, he retired. Floor damage. Mediocre Troco. Edible straws. Get out of here, Steven. Steven, I have the power to time you out. Come on. We can't be slating the edible straws like that. These edible straws are the future. I feel like I should own shares in edible straws. Maybe we need to be sponsored by edible straws. How is this stream not sponsored by anyone? I can slate anyone. I hate Red Bull because they cheated. Hate Mercedes because they just dominated for ages. Hate Formula 1 because it's too expensive. It was just completely unsponsored. We can slate everyone. Why did Verstappen go full wet? Because it was basically impossible to drive without being on the full wets. I believe they're doing a really good job of fixing that barrier. A night light on a solar panel. Ashtray on a motorbike. Chewing gum wrapper. Why is chewing gum wrapper not... What? Toilet rolls? What? Guys, you guys are... Ice cream crash helmet. Window wipe on submarine. Actually, they do have window wipes on submarines. For the... What's the bit at the top of a submarine called? They do have it there. Leclerc kicked the floorboard in anger. And broke it. How wet can a track be for the red flag to be raised? By the way, I love the phrase, raise the red flag. I think we should use that in chat from now on. If the red flag is... We say it's raised. They've raised the yellow flags at turn 1. And the green flag has been raised. Can we go with that? Can it always be raised? Not that other word beginning with W. Indicating the BMW I like. I rate that one. Ferrari strategy team. Mirab says you hate everyone. I don't hate you, Mirab. Corn wrapped in plastic. Hoisted. No, I like raised. Hoisted is a bit too grand.
That was good.
How many laps left? There are 9 laps left. 8 laps left, sorry. And we are under red flag conditions. Red flag conditions. Hello to me. Red flag conditions, everyone. Having a look here, Guanyu Zhou came in at quite a pace, to be honest. Really big impact, just skating along the tarmac. Kirith is raised, what? Do you like sport cars? Add 5 kg, yeah, but then get BTC and it's all about ballast and everyone complains about ballast and everything. Gets quite boring. Chris says, Science, do something. It's going to be hard for him to do something right now because we're under red flag conditions. Rido says, Perez will restart 3rd ahead of Gasly, Science and Hamilton. He also gets to repair his car. What damage did Perez have? Oh, he hit the rear wing. That's why they don't want the cameraman looking. Sorry, I'm really stupid. They hit the rear... Perez hit his rear wing at turn 1. Yes, indeed. So now going to repair that rear wing and really go for it. So right now, when the red flag conditions, the cars are all in the pit lane. Some of the cars are getting repairs. Guanyu Zhou is retired. Yeah, appreciate the Tech Pro. Remember, I have a video coming on how they repair barriers, Tech Pro barriers. Oh, Perez hit the pit lane coming in. Perez hit the pit. He hit the pit lane coming into the pits. Really weird crash by Sergio Perez there. Just sort of slid into the pit lane. That's not right. He pitted before the red flag. What do you mean that's not right? Edwin Perez's own worst enemy. Yeah, also went so deep. But he did a really nice recovery. He went in backwards. It's like how they do like a high jump. He sort of pirouetted in midair. How was the contact? Yeah, there was decent contact on the back. Decent contact on the back there. Slav, it used to be cool to Mercedes. I don't believe you own a Mercedes in real life, Slav. Got to be honest. Got to be honest. Callum says, my mate there says, I don't think TV will do justice to how wet it was when the red flag was thrown. Apparently, it was absolutely biblical. Biblical scenes. Do I support McLaren? I don't mind McLaren.
Nice job, mate. Nice job.
Ion says, Stroll needs to replace Aston Martin. Look, I think if Aston Martin replace Lawrence Stroll, I don't know where they would get their funding from. So I think Lawrence Stroll should stay at Aston Martin. 15 minutes left. Is that 15 minutes of rain or timing? Roy says, why talk rubbish about an 8-time world champion? Anna supporting Science. By the way, chat, let us know who's supporting. Any Max fans in the chat? What does Max think? Welcome Donovan, Zaki, Just, Nathaniel as well. Stroll needs to get demoted to Tim Hortons. What, like he runs Tim Hortons? Yeah, everyone is still in their cars. I'm not sure it's raining that heavily on the track at the moment. I think we will get going. Safety car restart. And then we'll do... It's difficult though, because I've only got 8 laps to play with. It's all getting very sort of Abu Dhabi, isn't it? Or Monza. Oh, timing. So are we running to the end of the timing? No, they go longer than 2 hours, don't they? Don't they go longer than 2 hours? They have a longer than 2 hour window. Oh, the people have been told to stop dancing. But they're dancing anyway. They're defying it. He's like, get off here, stop dancing. This is some, like, dancing mascot. Can't stop the Dutch people having a good time, frankly. It's impossible to stop Dutch people having a good time. Ferrari changed from red to pink. Not sure what that means. Hobro, at least Albon. Oh, okay, I'm going to eat the straw. Do we get 400 likes? Eating the straw. Okay. I'll try and get you some ASMR straw action as well. Ate it. Ate it. Do you remember at school, you'd be dared to eat stuff? And, like, it was just, like, a point of pride. Like, oh, I dare you to eat that. What did I used to eat at school? Like, I dare you to eat that metal spanner. They'd be like, oh, I bet you won't eat that metal spanner. And someone will go, yeah, I'll eat it. And they just eat, like, a spanner and eat it. Anyone else do that? Or, like, I dare you to eat that wing mirror on that car. Like, nah, he's never going to eat that wing mirror. And then someone will go, yeah, I'll do it. Just, like, start chomping on a wing mirror. Was anyone else like that at school? Or was it just me? You don't know about the edible straw? Oh, man, you're even part of this community. No sounds were heard. Damn it. It's a noise gate. I have a noise gate so you can't hear me, like, breathing. Hobo, if you mix your food together, they would make you eat it all my school. Even not me. Why straw banter? Why not straw banter? You strawist. Welcome, Justin. Johnny says, is it fair to put out a red flag just because of heavy rain? Apparently, from what I've been told at the track, it was really heavy. Like, really heavy. And what you don't see on TV, because the cameras are so far away, is the spray and how low the visibility is and how dangerous that is. If someone spins, you won't see and it goes straight into them. Evo'd watched the entire video. Okay, we're going to start Kira's Straw channel. New channel where I just talk about edible straws. I dare you to eat a tambourine, earn the nickname Jingles that day. And what a day, yeah. What a moment to really earn a nickname by eating a tambourine. What's the craziest thing anyone in chat has ever eaten? A dangerous one. Be ready, mods. Be ready, mods, on this one. Far too dangerous to keep going. Yeah, it was. But I think it's not... I don't think it's raining now. The people still have the ponchos on. So, I think we are going to go racing, but I'm just worried about this time limit thing. Wolves eating fish eyes. Evo swallowed a coin. Not bad. Was that intentional or unintentional? And what coin are we talking? Are we talking like £2 coin or like a euro cent? Nigel's eaten rat. No way, super symmetry. Cannon's eating octopus isn't that weird, I'm afraid. Useful as paper straws, I see you. Look at Gasly. What's up with Gasly? Yeah, Gasly back on the podium. Crocodile. Chewing gum. Don't eat chewing gum. Fermented shark. Australia. You ate 50 cents. I'm looking at the radar here behind Sergio Perez. And it looks like that weather system might have passed over. So hopefully we can go racing. Hopefully we can go racing, everyone. When will the race stream? I don't know. I don't know. But I will let you know. Beavers, that sounds illegal. It doesn't sound legal to eat a beaver. I've got to be honest. Sorry, Liv. Neotine and dried worms. Okay, this chat. I told this was a bad idea, this one. This is a bad idea. We'll do that one another time. Right, so I think the sun is about to arrive over the track. We'll draw out the track, and I'd be amazed if we don't go racing. I'd be amazed if we do not go racing. Begin says, downforce is sorely lacking in today's cars, and this track has a lot of continuous slopes. Are you sure downforce is lacking? Is that Oscar Piastri just wiping his helmet? Oscar Piastri looks so lonely. He's just sort of like wiping his helmet. It's quite cool to see though. Oscar Piastri's dad is quite cool actually. We chat sometimes. Oh, beavers are legal, okay. But no one in chat go out and trap a beaver. Claire, as a Brit who lives in Australia, 50% odds on the side of an old five. I didn't know there used to be £5 coins. If Gazzy gets paid me to do Dark Souls, no, that's never going to happen. I could do Dark Souls on my wheel. But come on, we all want to go racing now. Still red flag conditions, everyone. Still red flag conditions, but I think they should have the drivers in the cars to... It's still raining. It's sunny and raining. It's one of those ones where the sun's at an angle, but right now it's raining. But the cloud is passing, if that makes sense. Gasly cannot believe. Yeah, Pierre Gasly up in P3. Can he keep it? Jodad is saying it's almost dry now. Almost dry. Dotsoff, I'm so done with F1. So woke now. Won't race in the wet despite being paid $1.2 million per race. Dr. Sloth would race in the wet. Dr. Sloth would race in no visibility. Dr. Sloth would race in F1 with a blindfold and beat that woke Lewis Hamilton. I'm sure. I'm convinced. Thomas, yeah, there's a red flag now because it rained very heavily and Guanyu went off. Wheelie flip, nobody's playing for... You can play for Max. Paolo says, my grandmother says thanks for the cool coverage high five. Can we high five Paolo's grandmother? Justin, you would not make a good weather presenter. It's sort of wet right now. Welcome Claire and Alan. Norris Mostin. So my prediction is I don't know where we're on time, but I don't think we're going to run to a 2-hour time limit. The 2-hour time limit applies if there's lots of safety cars and stuff, right? But because the clock is stopped here, I think there's a 3-hour time limit that applies. There's a 3-hour or bad light time limit. So that's what I think we're racing to. There's a lot of activity in the pit lane around Sergio Perez's car and someone just cleaning it as they're sort of fixing that rear wing, and they're also going to change the front wing as well. Obviously this all has to be really done under part firmware conditions. They need to put it back to the same sort of downforce setting stuff they had before, I think, apart from the bits that can be changed. But the FIA might... Are they asking the to weigh? The FIA are asking them to weigh a front wing, but they're holding it. When that's so easily gameable. There's two people holding a front wing to weigh it, so they can just lift it and it weighs less. Did you staple your hand? No, that wasn't... Nah. Wasn't around my area, that one. Welcome, everyone's been since the beginning. T, Funky, Natasha, Flatka, Stephen Church. Oh, Stephen, you lived in the cardboard box. When I grew up, we were lucky to even hear about cardboard. That was some new super material that all the rich people had cardboard. And we didn't have roads either. It was like rut pass. Coming in here with your luxury cardboard. When does the race end? Well, there are still 8 laps to go, but under red flag conditions. That means that the race is essentially paused. They're waiting for it to dry a bit, and then they will send out the cars again, and we will do the last 8 laps. So no one has won this race yet. The FIA is searching the rules a way to find to restart. You'll see. G2, still no restart time. The crowd are having fun regardless. The DJ is whipping up a frenzy out there, and despite the poncho still being on, the fans look to be in great spirits. Some even have orange. Right, I need to delay this premiere, so bear with me. This might get a little bit funny. How am I going to do this? Bear with me. I'm going to have to delay this premiere. Delay it to... Nice. Evo saying MSC will return next year. I don't think so. Roy, the FIA announced on Friday it struck an accepted breach agreement. That was last year, wasn't it? Last year was all the cost cap fund. Cost cap issues. Seriously, stapled my trousers to my leg, boredom in strict school. Whatever it takes to get that bit of excitement, you know? The Dutch fans are absolutely insane. You don't see this at Silverstone. And also, in Silverstone, like, everyone is like wearing like branded shirts, branded everything. Dutch fans just look like they're having a good time, to be honest. Just having a good damn time. Just a little bit less sort of what's the word? Just looks very organic fun. Slab says, I think Red Bull cares, say floating on cash. Well, do say Red Bull gives you wings. GT, back to that restart. It'll be Verstappen from Alonso, Perez from Gasly, Sainz, Hamilton. Yeah, exactly. That's what we've got there. So we'll see. Let's see if we can get the drivers back in their cars and go racing again. There will be a lot of standing water on the track. A lot of standing water on the track. But I don't believe it's raining on the track right now. And these fans, they want to see a good time. Liam Lawson's back in the car, by the way. So Lawson's back in. Can he avoid finishing last? Funk says, no wonder the Dutch are happy they had 300,000 litres of beer on the circuit. Not like Spain. You know in Spain, right? They don't serve alcoholic beverages at the Barcelona GP circuit, but they don't tell anyone. So you have all these people like queuing up to like order like, yeah, 5 beers please, and they take them all away and they're all having these beers. They don't even know it's non-alcoholic. Thanks T, welcome to new streams. Everyone who rejoined, hype for the last 7 laps. Leave a like and subscribe. Yeah, now's your time, by the way. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, because we are definitely going to go racing again. Yuki Tsunoda's getting ready to go into his car. I think he's just been given the nod to go in, so he's going to collect his helmet. Little tiny Yuki. They've got a load of gazebos out, hastily erected. I hastily de-erected a gazebo once, and I took a massive chunk out of my hand. See all this bit here? I took all this out, because the gazebo bit, as I was holding it, went down. That was fun. That was at a racing. That was our gazebo for a race I was in. Oh, look at that. Kate, Evo, Natasha. Four-wheel drive F1 cars? Well, they're not four-wheel drive. No powertrain going through the front. Formula E could be four-wheel drive, but they don't generate through the front. Danny, welcome to Legend! Thank you so much, Danny, for joining the membership. Wow, so many members and donations today. I'm feeling truly blessed. Can we get some clap emojis out there for Danny, please? Joining the membership, becoming a legend. Becoming a legend of the stream, making all this possible. Directly supporting the channel. We love to see it. And welcome Nick, Freddie, and you as well. Look at the love in chat there. Look at the love in chat. G2 saying weather update and stop raining. Are you at the track, G2? Are you giving us the update direct from Zandvoort? Let us know. No, we can't be doing messages like that. We can't be doing messages like that. Don't worry, chat. I got you covered. I got you covered. Not welcome. Not welcome here in our little community. Right, Kevin Magson's been in the car, I think, all the time. I think he's just been sat there. He's just been sat there all the time. Kevin Magson is like one of those people, when there's a massive traffic jam on the motorway, he's one of those people that he doesn't go into neutral and put the handbrake up. He'll just stay in gear with the clutch down. That's Kevin Magnussen. Like, even if it's like a 2-hour stationary traffic jam where you have not moved, he's still there with the brake on and the clutch in, but everyone else is just like engines off. That's just how K-Mag rolls. Everyone is waiting mostly patiently. Tell us about the people that aren't waiting. Right, it looks like there's going to be a gap in the weather before it's going to hit again. So there's a gap in the weather before it's going to hit again. We need to go racing, FIA. We need to go racing. Four-wheel drive wouldn't chase it. Wouldn't change it so much. The marshals are doing a con... I've never seen, honestly, even when I was in the Netherlands last week, everyone was just so happy. Like, when I checked into the hotel, the people there were, like, happy. When I went to a restaurant, the guy was, like, he was just really happy. I went backstage at this event I was at to, like, get some shots, and the guy who owns the venue was, like, really happy. Why is everyone so happy in the Netherlands? What's going on? Chat, why is everyone so happy in the Netherlands? Maybe we should move to the Netherlands. I've never seen fans just like having such a good time. Like, if you went to Italy right now, everyone would just be like off the grandstand smoking, like having a chat about, you know, what Italians chat about. In Spain, everyone's just sort of chatting anyway to each other. Silverstone, everyone's sitting there very politely in their branded merchandise. In America, the fans are sort of like, this is all a bit new. But in Netherlands, they're all just they're all just like partying. They're all partying. And it's like terrible conditions. Like they're in a storm. And they're just partying. Look at Danny flashing off the green membership badge. They're very nice. Where is Monza? Spain, Italy. Monza is in Italy. They have the Italian Degners there. Still red flag conditions, by the way. Still red flag conditions. We are waiting to go. Italy, yes, indeed. By the way, 50,000 people have passed through the stream. It's absolutely insane. Awesome to see. Very, very, very nice. Anna K says lots of cheese, beer, and great bakery. Do you have 4-day work weeks there? Do you have 4-day work weeks as well? Chat, how can I move to the Netherlands? What do I need to do to move to the Netherlands? Okay, come on, FIA. There is standing water on the track, but a dry line will form. We've got 8 laps. We can go out for 4 laps behind safety car, and then we can go racing for 4 laps. Come on, we can do it. Let's go. Is that Verstappen getting into the cart? Looks like it might be Verstappen getting in. Don't know what that's about. I'd say Max will beat Vettel's record net timeout. What if he wins here? It's very windy again on the circuit. Very, very windy. Come on, let's go racing. Slav says host. You were the one. Who's host? Chat, who's host? Nora, why are people saying this race will end the red flag? I don't think it will. I think they'll try and get this going again. But we do have that timer. That timer that starts. That I believe is a 3-hour window. We're always saying stormy here in Mallorca. Mallorca can be very windy though. Right, Evo saying session will start in 10 minutes. Session will start in 10 minutes time, everyone. So if we're going to start in 10 minutes, then let's get ready and see who might fancy getting on the podium here. Will Alonso send up the inside of Max Verstappen? Roy says no way. Race will resume at 5:14 local time. 5:14 local time. I reckon 6 PM is the cutoff. Carlos Sainz is running back to his car. He will fancy being on the podium. He is a man that looks like he's transitioning from sort of... I know he's one of the older drivers now, but he's transitioning from that sort of like happy-go-lucky junior driver to like becoming an elder statesman. Angry elder statesman. I completely agree, Super Century. Get some cars out on the track. Get the medical car out. Get the safety car out. Clear some of that water. Let's have the maximum possible time racing and less possible time behind the safety car. I completely agree. Looks like they have fixed the rear wing on Sergio Perez's car, which is great. But yeah, hopefully they can send the safety car around and the medical car. Slav says, I find it funny how Yao were whining. Who's Yao, Slav? Got to be more specific with these call-outs. GT, we're going to go racing. Yes, indeed. There's a conga line now in the grandstands. It's carnage in the grandstands. It's absolute madness. I've never seen anything like it. Max is getting ready to go as well. Fair play to the Dutch, man. Also, how good is the food in the Netherlands? Every time I ate in the Netherlands, everyone was really happy, really talkative. Food was amazing. Cheaper than England. God, I gotta have a bit more national pride of being from Britain, don't I? Welcome WGC and Infinite Monkeys. Hybro safety car around should be like injury time, not count. The thing about that is fuel. So what they do in Formula E is they add bonus laps in Formula E because of the energy that you save. Jella says we have perfect food. Yeah, Lewis, they could do one of those IndyCar trucks. They're still fixing the back end of Perez's car. Use of intermediate tyres is mandatory. That's a directive from the FIA. Me says Sainz is from Pakistan. I'm not sure about that. Maybe. Possibly. Not going to deny it. Dutch are big on pizza. Dutch are big on food that would be classed unhealthy anywhere else. Like nice fries, fried chicken, pizza, wings. But somehow it doesn't feel unhealthy there. Right, chat. We are going to get going again very soon. In a couple of minutes. All the drivers are getting into the cars. Thank you so much for your patience. And
It's looking good.
yes, we are about to go racing and we're actually going to run out of another race here on F1 Manager. That is how long it has been. Which is crazy. Esteban Ocon gets back into the car. He'll be back on intermediate tyres. I wonder if the circuit, people want different levels of worn intermediate tyres. And some drivers might have better sets available. Slav says, you got a red flag, like you begged. Who is you, Slav? Who do you mean by you? Is anyone in chat called you? Hey bro, you guys have McVitie's, Cadbury, HP. I think all of those are now owned by the Americans, I'm afraid. Rolling start, yes indeed. So we are going in about 6 minutes time. Let me actually just restart this race again. For the third time, we will go racing again because this race just going on for so long, basically. Such a long time. Bear with me. There we go. Get that going in the background again. Alonso for dub. Anyone think that Max Verstappen will not win this race? Anyone think that Verstappen will not win the race? I mean, anything can happen. It is mixed conditions. There's going to be a rolling start, though, so Max will be able to back everyone up. It won't be a wet start. When's the last time we had a wet grid start in Formula 1? L-Plan is in motion. I thought this was like an optical illusion. You know optical illusions of straws? They, like, bend in water. But no, the straw is just bent. Just a bent straw. Is the safety car going to come in immediately? G2. Is the safety car going to come in immediately? Or are they going to do laps? I'd be amazed if they don't do laps, but... Lewis says Perez will lock up and take them both out. No, yeah, Perez is going to start in P3. Perez is being promoted back into P3. Monaco 2016, last wet race. I think I was there. Was that the one Ricciardo won? I think I was actually there, Monaco 2016. Lawson to win it all, never going to happen. Welcome Phantom, good to see you. Right, there's a hive of activity in the pit lane. We are just 4 minutes away from the race resuming. The cars will go out on the grid. They will sort themselves into the correct order. And then Max Verstappen will be the car behind the safety car, I believe. CJ saying Albon was surprised to win. Maddie saying I think Max might win, but I'm rooting for Alonso. Lots of Alonso fans, which is awesome to see. Big support for Nando and El Plan. By the way, chat, 400 new subscribers in the channel today. How awesome is that? Did you know, by the way, I'm giving away a graphics card today? Check out my community post. If you want to win an NVIDIA graphics card, today is your last day to enter and win that. Thanks to NVIDIA for partnering with us on that one. Scarlett's in the back office of my work, waiting to start again. Yeah, we're all there. 4 minutes to go, everyone. 4 minutes to go. It's been good. It's been fun in the red flag, but we all want to see the race, don't we? Yeah, RTX 4060 brand new GPU I'm giving away to one of my subscribers. So make sure you subscribe. If you're watching right now, you're not subscribed, you want RTX 4060, subscribe and enter. Simple. Easy. Oh, Motion's on a jog, enjoying the commentary. How awesome is that? Getting some exercise in and also listening to the race. Well, I can tell you, Moisten, because you're on radio, 8 laps to go. The cars are in the pit lane. We're still in the red flag conditions, but in 3 minutes, we're expecting the cars to leave the pit lane and the race will restart, I should say, in a rolling start procedure with Max Verstappen leading out, Fernando Alonso, and then Sergio Perez in P3. Scott says, what are you doing if you didn't subscribe? Yeah, what are you doing? Some of the holdouts. Aniki, I suspect you might not be live there, but depends on where you eat and how creative I was. We're mostly practical when it comes to food, but yeah, lots of deep fried options. I want to do a live stream from the Netherlands. It's just a fun place, and it's really easy for me to get to. Thank you to KLM. Okay, it's got it. We learned that people eat coins, we saw some straw content, and we got new members. Indeed, speaking of members, welcome to Fast Ginger. He's been a member for 24 months. Leclerc is going to get his road car out and finish 16th. Yeah, I mean, if Leclerc had hung around there, they could have tried to fix his flaw, if that's possible, and he'd have nothing to lose. Never give up. Yeah, Dutch pancakes. Quite nice, savoury and sweet. But here we go. Cars out on the track. Cars out on the track. It should be Max Verstappen first, unless that's Sergio Perez, because that's where his car was stopped and he will sort of filter out. Cars are back out on track. Order for restart is cars 1, 14, 11, 10, 55, 44, 4, and 63. So Lando Norris somehow got ahead of George Russell, even though the McLarens came in order. Must have been the double stack. Must have been a double stack situation there. Street waffles as well, underrated. Straw is just integrated now. I regret eating that straw, chap. Why did you make me eat the straw? Oh, yep, sorry, my bad. Green flagged out, everyone. We're back under green. Back under green, but still safety car. Did I miss something important? Not yet, well, all the banter. But we are lap 65 out of 72. Cars are out on the track, as you can see. And it's all going to queue behind Verstappen. Maybe they will go into the pits again. I do not know. Maybe they'll go into the pits and sort of queue there. So this is just getting out on track in order. Voice saying it looks like 5 laps of racing. Yeah, so is this counting as a lap, by the way? Is this counting as a lap? It'd be interesting if it doesn't from a fuel perspective. Jolanda's going to cook as a proper Dutch meal. Let's take you up on that, Jolanda. So next time we stream from the Netherlands, we'll go and see Jolanda, one of our viewers. And we should do that. We should stream from South Africa. We should stream from India. We should stream from Canada. How awesome would that be? We can do it. Anything's possible, man. Right, they're all back into the pits. They're all trying to get into order here. It's all a bit of a mess, to be honest. It's all a bit of a mess. Why do we always end up talking about food in these streams? Either food or drink, you know? 2 of those things. Right, we're going out behind the safety car now. In order, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Sergio Perez. The FIA have got things in order. Here we go, everyone. Lap 65. I'm not sure that we did get a lap there. I think that was just literally a rejiggle which is a technical FIA term, so a rejiggle of the order. Food is life, yeah. Chat, I want to know right now, what is your top 3 prediction for the race? I'm going to go Verstappen, Perez, Alonso. Oh, I beg against Alonso there. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat what you think. What's your top 3 going to be? Verstappen, Perez, Alonso. See Nico's enjoying the race, very nice. We are behind the Aston Martin safety car. There is a lot of standing water on the inside of the track where it kind of collects you to the camber. Ion's going Alonso, Max, Sainz, Evo, Verstappen, Alonso, Perez. Fernando, by the way, has done really good at the start. What if Fernando sends it on Max? You'd love to see it. Fast Ginger, Verstappen, Alonso, Gasly, Phantom, Verstappen, Alonso, Perez. IW, Verstappen, Perez, Alonso. Funky, no DRS, I think Alonso in second. David, Alonso, Verstappen, Perez. Scarlett, first race I've seen, but rooting for Verstappen. Can we get some claps out for Scarlett for their first race, watching with their friend there. And what a race have you as your first race. They're not all like this, so I've got to be honest. They're not all this dramatic. Still on lap 65 on my screen. I believe in the GOAT, Alonso, Verstappen, and a brave Hamilton. Whoa, Hamilton down from P6. G2, who is at the circuit, getting a word from G2. Already the cars are looking for water to stop their tyres from overheating. That is the word from G2 there. Okay. Look at the claps out in chat. So I imagine on the radio, if you're Verstappen, you don't really want this to restart, but the visibility is poor. It's the visibility which is really bad. Nigel Compton's got a weather forecast there. So the visibility is not great. So we are now ticking down the laps. Ticking down those laps. Look at Kevin Magnussen all the way back there. Not sure why. Welcome Paola and Imperator. Oh, I've got a Emperor in the chat. Rudolph, Aura, Ayush and Ben. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to support our community. Oh, there's more weather out of the sea. There's more weather out of the sea, but I don't think it's going to hit us before the end of the race. But let's get racing, please. If there's another red flag, will they stop? No, I don't know if you saw the Indy 500 we streamed on this channel. That was the... Did anyone watch the Indy 500 here? That was mad. It was just red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Till all, like, every... of the last 10 laps, like half of them were red flagged. Remember the used intended... Yep, but we won't go that long on the used intended here. Super Sim said these laps shouldn't count, but it's because of the fuel. It's got to be fair, I think, to everyone. Verstappen getting splashed behind the Aston Martin safety car. Bit of a conflict of interest here, isn't there? With the Aston Martin in the safety car and Alonso in P2. Can the Aston Martin safety car just splash Max Verstappen? Cool. What do we think? And help the Aston Martin F1 car out? Verstappen doing some weird stuff with his helmet. Maybe he's not... Maybe the hands device is not strapped in or something. What's going on here with Max Verstappen? Oh, no! Max Verstappen has got some sort of issue. So on a helmet, F1 helmet, you have back here the pins for the hands device. I wonder if his hands device is not clipped in or something. Whoa, that's a safety issue. Chat, let me know if you got any other intel on that. But is the safety car coming in? Because Max Verstappen has slowed it all down. I think we might be good to go. I think we might be good to go here. Max Verstappen fixes the play. Green flag, everyone. Green flag. Green, 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 green. And it's Alonso following Max. Alonso is very close. Alonso is very close to Verstappen here as we go over the line for the last 6 laps here at the 2023 Dutch GP. Alonso looks for it, but partly to get out the spray. Oh, half thinks about it, but Verstappen keeps the position. Alonso looks like he's going to be racy, though. Alonso is going to be racy here. We are back underway. Get your green flags out. There we go. Indeed, Verstappen, Alonso, Perez. And then, after Gasly, Carlos Sainz is being hounded by Lewis Hamilton here. And then it's Lando Norris. And George Russell. Russell's going to try and go around the outside of Lando here. Yes, he does. Huge move by George Russell and Lando Norris. Great move. Maybe that's ominous here. The Mercedes having good pace. Looks like Hamilton is all over the back of Carlos Sainz as well. But what's going to happen with Russell? Because I see he's dropped down the order again. So what's happening here with Russell? Keep an eye on Russell here. He got the overtake done, but I can see he's dropped down some positions. I'm going to let you know. Perez under investigation for speeding in the pit lane. Such an own goal there for Sergio Perez. That could open up a podium position for Pierre Gasly or Carlos Sainz or Lewis Hamilton. So maybe Perez won't be on the prediction. Yeah, exactly. Fast and send the Gasly prediction's happening. What happened with George Russell, though? What happened with George Russell? Lando overtakes him. Albon overtakes him. Absolutely crazy scenes. And Sergio Perez gets a slam dunk 5-second penalty. 5-second penalty goes from bad to worse for Perez, the man who was leading this race after the first lap, if you remember, playing the 4D chess, is now not going to finish on the podium unless he can eke out a 5-second gap, which is potentially possible because Gasly is already 2.5 seconds behind. Russell says he's out. Russell's out. Disaster for Russell. Goes even worse. Russell's out. Must have been contact somewhere that I did not see. That's why Russell has dropped back so badly. No, 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 no. What has happened there with George Russell? He is out. That frees up Hamilton to have a go at Carlos Sainz. Has Hamilton got the fire in his belly? Let's see. Yes, Russell out. This is absolute carnage. And also, Alonso now might become a cork in the bottle for Sergio Perez, because Perez might need to get past Alonso to get that 5-second gap on Pierre Gasly, weirdly. To keep an eye on the gap between Perez and Gasly, because Perez has a 5-second penalty. If you saw my F123 video from this morning, you will have seen the effect the penalty can have. And also, someone might bin it in the wall as well, because it is, in all of this, wet conditions. Intermediate conditions. And we've seen people bin it before. Yeah, GT saying Perez penalty. Russell's has some sort of instant, maybe a damage on the front wing or something. I don't know. He's out of the race. But Sergio Perez is catching Fernando Alonso, and Gasly is just trying to stay in the hunt. It's still a 2.3 instant between Norris and Russell. I saw George Russell overtake Lando Norris. It looked like a good overtake from where I was, but maybe it wasn't, and maybe he got damage from that. But I'm going to have a look right now. George Russell round the outside of Lando Norris. What happens here? A lot of spray. Lando tries to come back. They go into a tight right-hander. There's a little bit of contact. And maybe Lando just makes contact with the floor of George Russell. Looked fairly innocuous. And I actually wouldn't place any blame there really on Lando. Just sort of side-by-side battling. Attacking Vamos Carlos. Well, Carlos is going to need to hold off Lewis Hamilton here. It's not going to be easy. T going to be close to finish up front. We will see. Keep an eye on the gap between Alonso, Perez and Gasly. Laps left, you can see at the top, my friend. 3 laps to go. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton is all over Carlos Sainz. All over him. Absolutely obscene. Tries to go up the inside at the little chicane at the end. Not going to happen. But Lewis Hamilton will want to get past Carlos Sainz. And can he make even further headway? See at the top, there are not a lot of laps remaining. Not a lot of laps. Everyone, what a dramatic race this has been. You've got to be in it to win it. This has felt like the Indy 500, frankly. Some shocked emojis coming out in the chat. Maddie saying Paul Russell. But let's see what's going to happen, because at this rate, Sergio Perez is going to drop behind Pierre Gasly. He'll stay just ahead of Carlos Sainz, but he'll drop behind Pierre Gasly. So Pierre Gasly just needs to do what he's doing and stay within that gap, and he will end up on the podium. And oh my god, can you imagine Pierre Gasly on the podium, how it's going to feel for Pierre? Such a long time in the wilderness. Supla hates Lando. You go for it, man. Whatever floats your boat. Looking at the gap here, still 2.3 seconds between Perez and Gasly. Perez might be getting held up by Fernando Alonso, but he's running out of laps, frankly. He's running out of laps here. Look how dramatic this is. Can Perez get past Alonso and then eke out that gap and basically secure his podium? Because Gasly is like glue at the moment, 2.3. Norris and Russell, no further investigation as I thought. Hamilton thinks about a late move on Carlos Sainz, doesn't quite get it done. Hamilton, there's no DRS obviously because these wet weather conditions. So going down the straight, you almost don't want to be in the spray, so it's difficult to get the slipstream. Phantom saying it's all happening. It is happening all indeed. Have a look again between Perez and Gasly. Is Gasly dropping down a little bit? Maybe, but Perez is still being held up by Alonso. only 2 laps to go, everyone. We're basically approaching the last lap. Russell got some damage. He was really up there with George Russell, looking very racy, but got some damage and dropped out. Not a good battle for him. Lewis Hamilton going side by side with Carlos Sainz, but still can't get past. Hamilton really wants to get that position, but Sainz has got that dog in him at the moment. He's really battling hard, defending hard here, making it very difficult. This is all allowing Lando Norris actually to catch back up with Lewis Hamilton, which is interesting. So there's a Bill 3-car train developing there. Meanwhile, Gasly is like glue on Sergio Perez. Maybe they were not quite able to fix Sergio Perez's rear wing there, and that might be costing him down the straight. I do not know. Verstappen in the class winner. We are going to see that. Oh, Hamilton almost crashes into the back of Sainz. Very, very close there. Hamilton is giving it his all, but cannot get past the widest Ferrari we've ever seen, driven by Carlos Sainz. Absolutely impossible. Look at the standings here. We're on the last lap now. Really, really, really at the end. Last lap. This is it. You can see that Gasly is just staying with Sergio Perez, and Lewis Hamilton is going to be chasing down Carlos Sainz. Lando Norris is in the mix as well. What can happen here? Alonso is just backing up. Alonso is going to finish this race P2 as it stands, by the way. Russell went out again after all that. I thought they were retiring, but they're just sending him out again. Not sure why they're doing that, because if they retired him, they might be doing some more stuff in the car. And Gasly is still just where he needs to be. 2 seconds off, going around the last corner now, everyone. What a dramatic race it has been. But Verstappen is going to win 9 races in a row. Honestly, the Dutch weather threw absolutely everything at Max Verstappen in this race. But it is going to be Verstappen who wins the 2023 Dutch GP, with Fernando finishes second. Perez, for a few seconds, finishes third. But now he will go down to 4th because of that penalty of speeding in the pits. What does that mean for Pierre Gasly? Remember, Pierre Gasly also got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Did you remember? What a recovery drive from Pierre Gasly. I need to ask you, everyone, who is your F1 driver of the day today? Over 2,000 people watching. What a special occasion it is again. Who is your driver of the day today? Is it Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Pierre Gasly? Surely it can't be Perez. Blame if it's Perez. What about Carlos Sainz? So many Carlos Sainz fans in the chat here. Yeah, we ate most edible straw, sorry. And a great day out for the crowd. Seeing Max Verstappen win, the fireworks go off, the smoke flares. It's all kicking off on the Dutch coast here. They see a home win for Max Verstappen. Absolutely insane. It's Martin Garrix, who is unfurling the checkered flag there. Lando Norris P7. Albon, by the way, stays in the points in P8. What an incredible drive for Alex Albon. But here we go. Driver of the day, Alonso. Eva says Gasly. Mia Hamilton. Kate says Max. Pranel says Max. Farson says Lawson. Maybe. Liam Lawson P13, actually. Fair shout. Stephen Alonso. X Factor Hamilton. Astrea says Gasly and Albon. David Alonso. Sandeep says Gasly. Ganas says Gasly. Emma says Gasly. Billa says Fernando. Natasha says Alonso and Gasly. Maddie says Alonso. Thorson says Sainz. Beef says Gasly. James says Gasly. Winter's happy to see Liam survive. Yes, indeed. Crosby says Gasly. I says Alonso. Mrs. Minch says Gasly. And AK splitting it between Fernando and Gasly. MZ saying Gasly. Phantom saying Alonso. Exuvius saying Carlos Sainz. Danny saying Alonso. GT saying a 9th straight win for Verstappen. Evo saying Lawson beat Tsunoda. I can't, by the way, get a shout out for Lee. What a tough weekend, but just comes out in P13 ahead of Tsunoda. Absolutely insane. Yeah, I agree, VC. Put some credit on Lawson's name there. Cannon says Gasly, Scarlett Gasly, Superboy Alonso, and Massim Fernando. Weather made this a great race. Crosby says Gasly. Yeah, I mean, great. I think, look, for me, Pierre Gasly out of nowhere, but you have to give a lot of credit for Max Verstappen for the sheer pace he was able to show. Look at Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez was down, he was up, he was down, he was up. He was always being, battered around. Verstappen was pretty much always clear at the top. So difficult to not give it to Verstappen, but I want to give a shout out to Gasly and also Fernando Alonso as well, and the wily Fox ending up there in P2. Fantasy's crazy race, yes indeed. Manvik saying Ayrton said, Manvik, you're about 30 years too late on this stream. G2, yep, very nice. Teasing absolutely wild race. What's happened to Hamilton? Hamilton in P6. I can tell you that the official vote has gone for Fernando Alonso. So Fernando Alonso is the official driver of the day. Maddie's very proud of Lawson. Evan, very proud of Lawson. I think anyone from New Zealand. Brendan Hartley doing really well in WEC with Toyota. And now Liam Lawson in F1, obviously doing super well in Super Formula as well. But great job. Vlatka says, let's be fair, Max for a reason, but I do appreciate Lawson's result. Nice. Maverick saying Russell just gave up, but I think there's some damage. Pierre Gasly, though, fair play to Pierre, because they did not look too good in qualifying yesterday. And this is a great thing about Formula 1 at the moment. Yes, Max Verstappen is dominating, but the anything behind Max is frankly up for grabs, and in a way that we haven't really seen before. It's genuinely up for grabs. Danny's saying Albon. Yeah, I mean, Albon up there as well. I didn't see really any shouts for Albon. Hobro saying don't sleep on Albon. A P8 for Albon, splitting the McLarens and the Williams. Someone saying, I don't think George is going to win them. G2 saying, reporting that Fernando wants that win. Yes, Fernando wants that dub again. Getting really, really close. How great is it to see there, the oldest driver on the grid, finish in P2. Will Gasly keep his penalty? Gasly got a penalty. Gasly took his penalty in the pits. That's why Alpine had a very slow pit stop for Gasly, because he needed to sit there for 5 seconds. Aston Martin look over the moon. Aston Martin the back. Gasly escalating on the radio. Steven saying, yes, Alonso, we get used to him outperforming some machine. I mean, absolutely great from Alonso there. By the way, we are going to go into a premiere of me interviewing John-Eric Verne, driver that knows the Red Bull F1 setup very well, having driven for many years Toro Rosso. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to let you know what's happening in the podium situation now, and also if we're going to see any post-race penalties, as the Alpine fans almost destroy the barrier, the Alpine mechanics. They are over the moon with Pierre Gasly, very talented driver. Also sort of ruthlessly dropped by Red Bull Racing, who again is another ex-Red Red Bull driver beating Sergio Perez. No shake. Liam Lawson getting the thumbs up. Roy saying it sounded like a war cry. Stephen A liking Alonso. Natasha saying good job Liam Lawson. Yeah, indeed. And I think the Red Bull mechanics have got some celebratory stuff out on the winning the GP. They must print that for every race. Not sure who's going to do the post-race interviews here, but I don't know what's going on. But great to see Fernando Alonso looking happy, Max Verstappen looking happy, and Pierre Gasly looking absolutely over the moon here. Roy saying bad track needs to go. Whoa, Roy. What do we think about that? Harry saying Otmar fired soon. Well, I've got some news for you about that. Might be a little bit behind the times. Welcome Avinash as well. Poor Ricciardo missed out because of the wrist. Yeah, right, here we go with... Is it Guido van der Garde, I think, might be doing the interviews. The man who sued Sauber, I think unsuccessfully. And Pierre Gasly looks so happy. Alpine just launching their hypercar for WEC next season. And what a drum! I bet that was a very dramatic race for Gasly. He must have been up and down, got the penalty as well. Maddie likes the track. Anna Kay says, perhaps an unpopular opinion, but Red Bull should never have demoted Gasly. They were far too harsh on Gasly and Alex Albon, in my opinion. But when you've got Max Verstappen, you can afford to be harsh. No ways, Vlatka, and we're not going anywhere because in less than 10 minutes, we have the live premiere of the exclusive interview with another driver done very hardly by Red Bull F1, which is John-Eric Verne, which I'm excited to share with you. Mandevich saying Russell was hot. No, he wasn't. Russell had a period where it's a weird race for Russell. They messed up the strategy, then they put him on the hard tyre. They needed to pit. So it's a weird, and then he was looking strong at the end, but then he got overtaken by Hamilton. They had a weird moment. Maybe he was struggling with damage all the way through. Hopefully no trophies tumble today. I will let you know if there's going to be any issues with those trophies. Hopefully there won't be, unless you want to see some trophy drama. Bear with me here. Max breaks record, Lando breaks record breaking trophies. Yeah, Fernando looks absolutely chuffed here. I reckon Fernando could go for another 10 years. The guy's just a beast. I mean, some of the overtakes Fernando did were just obscene. I think it was lap 1. It was like, I'll have 2 overtakes here. Took an inside line. It was almost like taking a Joker lap in Rallycross. Tim saying Albon. Mercedes wants to put this race in the bin. Well, I think Hamilton... I remember Hamilton started P13, but George Russell started P3 and went down to 17. Disastrous, really. Lando Norris started in 2nd place, went down to P7. I mean, it was a lot of big calls that the strategy teams had to make in this race, and they didn't really get all of them right, if we're honest. Steven saying Verne was outdriven by Danny Rick. Well, you'll see what he says in the interview very shortly. He's in an interesting place right now, is Jean-Eric Verne. So excited to share that interview with you on the Motorsport channel. Can someone just say how sweet Dan is? I think you just did. Harry saying Seb coming to Nürburgring on September 9th. Is that to do some fun stuff with his cars? Super Simulator saying Hamilton got lucky with the red flag. I mean, there's so many stop-start, pit stops. I mean, drivers here on, 4 tyres, basically. 5 tyres, maybe. I think the graphic doesn't even show all the tyres. Alex Albon did half the race on 1 tyre, and then he went to about 3 different tyres. We're always saying Alonso talks too much. Ouch. I think he's earned the right. Fanting is saying how fast Max is. Yeah, Max is a league above. At the moment, he's giving his interview here with Guido van der Garde. And, yeah, I mean, Max is just obscene. Absolutely. The question is, chap, is Max even in his prime yet? Do you think he's even in his prime? Or do you think Max still has more to give? Does Max still have more to give? That's a scary thing. But when you compare someone with Max, someone like Leclerc, you feel like if Max was in the Ferrari, he would do a lot better, consistent job than Charles Leclerc is. No worries, Evo. Good job and good luck in university. Hope you enjoyed the stream today. Max is pretending to be human. Maybe. But he's obviously... I think he's silencing all the people that have complaints about 2021 because he's just showing just how dominant he is. That's what I feel. I mean, you cannot be more... It's almost weird to think that he didn't win 2 races this season. Feels like such a long time ago. I don't even know the circumstances that someone could beat Max without a mechanical issue. Fast into how much longer will Ferrari let the team boss stay the boss if it is a poor showing at Monza? Yeah, Ferrari need a good showing at Monza. They absolutely need it. Manvik saying Max looks like a cracked video game boss. He needs some cheats to beat him. Phantom almost seems like Max isn't even trying. Yeah, he's in such a cool place right now. He is just built different. He is built different. Gonna go up now to the podium. Careful of the trophy, everyone. Careful of the trophy. Great for the Dutch fans who've been in such good spirits today from what I've seen. Dealing with all the weather on this Sunday. Seeing their man win the 2023 Dutch GP. Fireworks go at the end. But was there an issue with his hands device? Was there an issue with safety? Why was he so concerned about something at the back of his helmet, chat? No worries, Wills. Anyone remember that? Anyone got any intel on that one? Jello says Queen Maxima. Oh, was that the Queen? It's very down to earth for a Queen. 9 wins in a row as well. Yeah, Nando and Max in the Red Bull would just be a recipe for disaster because they would just race each other so hard, though. They race us so hard. Cool down room. Good to see Pierre Gasly in there. A man who's won. He's won at Monza for AlphaTauri. In fact, that might be the last Italian team to have won at Monza. So, let me know about that in the chat. Fortune says, just think 4 years ago, Danny Max was ready to have Max leave Red Bull. Well, to be fair, they must work like a glove. He's been there for such a long time now. He has the experience of someone 10 years older. But I'm not even sure he's in his prime yet. I'm not even sure he's in his prime. Looking at the, I think Nando overtakes, which are pretty beastly. Oh, and then the Max move on, was that on Pierre Gasly? It's pretty dodgy. Remember at the beginning of the race, I thought Max might get a penalty. not leaving Pierre a lot of space. Don't think Pierre's too bothered about it now. Max should be casted in the Fast and Furious, maybe. Maybe indeed. Yeah, Max just checking out his highlights, but the guy is just obscene. No way sold that. See you next time. The trophies are being wheeled out. By the way, we are just a couple of minutes away from our premiere. Of my interview with John Eric Verne. F1 aficionados will remember. Less than 5 minutes away. Yeah, Piastri, I think, is doing a solid job. I mean, to finish 2 positions behind Lando, who by now is definitely not a rookie, I think is a really good job for Oscar. So if he can again become accustomed to that McLaren, then it looks like he's got a good, solid career ahead of him. Well, it's a 10 out of 10. Very nice. Carlos, the best rookie. Carlos has driven for basically every team on the grid when you think about it. He's like the opposite of a rookie. Now he's Anarchy. Meanwhile, here comes Pierre Gasly onto the podium. Looks absolutely ecstatic for Alpine. Big moment for Alpine because lots of change in the structure of that team. Fernando Alonso is already out. He's done this many, many times before. He'll enjoy being on the podium again in P2. And Max Verstappen, the home driver, on the top step. Awesome to see. All the Dutch fans over the moon. Very, very nice. Oh, nice one, Super Symmetry. What about Alonso in the Red Bull? I think an Alonso in the Red Bull would be a very dangerous combination because I think they'd race each other really, really hard. Really hard. Sponsored by Heineken, Dutch GP, won by a Dutch driver. I mean, doesn't get more Dutch than that, does it? Alonso must be listening to Taylor Swift. Yeah, please do smash that like when it gets to 500, but there's just 3 minutes to go till we are going to hit that premiere. In fact, let me just make sure that we are all indeed good to go on that. I'm excited to share this insight with you all. It's really cool to chat with such an established driver as well. Really, really, really knows his stuff. Stay with me. It's crazy. What lap is it? The race is done, my friend. The race is done. And I think it's starting to rain on the podium. So, rain on the podium. There would have been more rain coming in. All of the glamorous fans out here, like Kelly Piquet, might just be about to be doused by another rain shower. But you can't move during the anthem. You just got to deal with it, frankly. Just got to roll with the rain. Next time, 10 wins for Supermax. We will see. Would be amazing to see Sebastian Vettel's record be broken. Because remember at the time, I never thought that would be broken. Vettel was just so unbelievably dominant. He was so dominant in qualifying. The Red Bull was miles ahead. It was even. It felt even more dominant than now. But the stats won't lie. The stats won't lie, basically. Right, chat, this is going to be... In fact, the trophy goes up. It looks very exceedingly breakable, but Lando Norris, unfortunately, isn't on the podium today. This is the premiere link for the exclusive interview with John Eric Verne. It's going to start in a minute. I will take us all there. I will take us all there automatically, but make sure you hit that link as well. Oh, is it giving a medal? Oh, is that a medal for equaling a record or something? It's like a school sports day. No worries, Gareth, but the entertainment doesn't stop here. The entertainment continues. Exclusive interview. Here it is, everyone. So, we are going to go ahead now to the interview where I'm going to give you an inside track into a ex-F1 driver. Really awesome to share this with you. So I'm going to end this stream and it will take us there automatically. Takes it automatically. So I'll see you there. Make sure when you're there, by the way, make sure to subscribe to that channel. It's a new channel, a motorsport channel. So please, 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 if you want to see more of this stuff, more of that stuff, hit that subscribe button when you go across. For me, I'd really appreciate it. So I'm going to take us over there now to a new channel. Yeah, let's do it.